Well, engines are fired. Is it lineup time? It's lineup time. Here we go for Heat 1. Nick Hoffman from Mooresville, North Carolina has got the pole. Keith Rauch outside row number 1 of the 27. Row number 2, Ryan Schwabauer out of Hastings, Nebraska. Joe B. Miller, the man from Millersville, MO, starts outside row number 2 in the 51B. Blaine Baxter and Bill Johnson in row 3. Daniel Adler, the veteran, goes inside row number 4 with Corey Mullins outside of him. 8 cars, 8 laps, points on the line here at heat race number 1.
Well, boys, the lights are out around the Tulsa Expo Raceway. Our first of 9 heat races to kick off the 40th running of the Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink. It's Nick Hoffman and Keith Rauch on the front row. Passing points, the name of the game as we kickstart Second Opinion Auto qualifying night off of turn number 4, and we're underway.
Good start by Hoffman there to get the jump down into turn 1 on a narrow racetrack. Joby Miller falling in line in third, going to be trying to find a way past a tight Keith Rauch.
Little wheel stand out of Rauch down the back straightaway. 1 lap in the books. Hoffman, Rauch, Joe B, 1 through 3 in the early going.
Still a lot of moisture in the racetrack, maybe a little bit of grease as well, as into that turns 3 and 4 with an absolute wave of momentum was Baxter in the 25, running the 5th position. Schwabauer is a little bit loose, squirrely off the corner in turn 2. Everybody trying to settle in. From the back of the field, though, Daniel Adler's starting to make some moves, now up to 6th.
Adler's the kind of guy who can situationally see, all right, I need about 1 more spot here. Just got to find the right opportunity to get it. He's done enough of these. Track crew was predicting it would be pretty juiced up, pretty hooked up. Was encouraging drivers to get off the bottom in hot laps and try to run higher to make this thing expand earlier. Right now, it's creeping. Not quite there yet.
Hoffman doing what he needs to do, though. Already a full straightaway lead over second place Keith Rauch. Joby Miller keeping Rauch honest as you continue to watch this battle just behind. There's Joby Miller already coming around. 2 laps to go for this group. They'll see the white flag next time by. Miller maybe trying for 1 more spot. Has already picked up 1 in the early goings, but white flag is already out.
Track's still super quick. Nick Hoffman getting around here with an average lap time of 11.4 seconds. And Hoffman, there it is. It's the 100 points that he needed to kick off the Chili Bowl Nationals. He'll get the win ahead of Rauch and Miller. Take a look. There's your score as they come up. Hoffman, Rauch, Miller, Schwabauer, Baxter, and Adler's going to be right on that cutoff line on 8 to 6. So going to be close for him. You can predict Johnson and Mullins going down into some C-main action later on in the broadcast. Let's check in with Earl Hoon Jr., the TJ Forged Pit Report.
Thank you, Caleb Hart. Yep, here we go. Heat race number 1 winner, Nick Hoffman. Buddy, tell me how crucial these starts are. Obviously, track gripped up, narrow. How good do you have to be to time these starts just right?
Yeah, and I didn't want to get caught with jumping there, so I made sure I waited till the line to really take off. And he was trying to roll me a little bit, but he did the right thing to make sure they didn't call that back. So, yeah, the start's obviously crucial, especially when you got Joe B and Jake Andreotti and those guys behind you. You got to be pretty good. But sitting at the top of the ramp here, it's like sitting in staging for the World 100. You know, it's a lot of nerves and knowing that you have to win this to pretty much save your night. And was able to do that. And Zach Daum did a great job of giving me what I need. Kind of the whole time. I was in the first hot lap session yesterday, the last one, so I didn't really have a decent racetrack both times. And then now I'm like, man, just give me something that I could circle and not be so tight, and he was able to do that. So NOS Energy Drink, Rockwell Security, Jeff Taylor, everybody makes this possible for me. I can't thank him enough, and at least get myself in a decent spot for later. That's all you can do.
Guys, Nick Hoffman starting his night off strong with 100 points.
All right, Earl. Guys, heat race number 2. Billy Rayburn and Jane Evans making up row number 1. Sam Hines and Trey Zorn in row 3. Noah Harris, Matt Lux in row behind them. And then Hayden Mabe and Alex Sewell making up the final row of this one. 8 cars for 8 laps. And Alex Sewell, always a very popular dirt draft Chili Bowl pool pick. He's got a good starting spot. Does he have the racetrack to make it happen?
That'd be tough. It's certainly still very narrow, very quick. And Hoffman's fastest lap in Heat 1 was an 11.2, so we'll keep an eye on that as the racetrack widens out over the course of the next few heat races.
Off of turns 3 and 4, here we go with another 8 laps. Heat race number 2 underway, and that start all sorts of jumbled up as the pole sitter Billy Rayburn couldn't get to throttle. Now here comes Trey Zorn, who started in 4th, now takes the lead into 3 and 4, so 4-1 for Trey Zorn. and we've got a mess off of turn 4.
Alex Sewell's done a great job of navigating all this so far in the first lap. He's been patiently around the bottom. He's going to be all the way up into P4 from the tail of your field.
Out and running is Zorn. Everybody trying to chase him down. Good battle mid-pack. You're watching Noah Harris try to keep off Sewell. And it's exactly what the Sewell fans out there needed to see. And pick up another spot and get 8-3. He's got opportunity off the bottom of 2.
Harris and Sewell, a couple of Oklahoma kids that are really talented, been around this racetrack for a long time, growing up around here, absolutely battling it out. Sewell would love to see one more spot here.
Sewell sizing up his competition in Hines right now in that second spot. Hines going to leave the door open. Sewell not there close enough to capitalize. As the laps continue to wind down, coming around next time will be 2 laps to go. You're watching the battle for second. Zorn is gone with the lead after starting 4th. Keeping an eye on Sewell, now looking for second, and one more batch of points.
It's actually Sewell looking for 3rd on Noah Harris.
Oh, there we go. That's right, Harris.
So,
he's getting the car rotated just a little earlier in the corner so he can try to sneak in down low as we're at the 1 to go mark. Back straight away for the final time. Zorn's got this one running away. Trey Zorn, big points in pocket for him. Harris holds 3rd. Hines will get second, 8-4. Good enough for Alex Sewell. In fact, better scoring than both Hines and Harris, as he'll make a qualifier as well. Lux and Maber in, Rayburn and Evans. And Jan found out real quick that you can't run in that outside groove quite yet coming off of 2, as he had the lead on for about a quarter and a half, and then learning opportunity from there. We need to check in up top with Chris Moore in a TJ Forge pit report.
Yeah, thank you, Earl. Here with Trey Zorn. Trey, you go 4th to 1st in 3 turns. Could you have drawn up a better opening lap than that?
No, I couldn't have. That was pretty awesome. Just got lucky. He pushed up there, and I shot underneath, and then just had to protect from there. Felt like I still kind of struggled with that, but we were still fast. So I just want to say hi to everyone watching back home. Mom, sisters, my girlfriend and her family, Micah and the Nuss clan, and everyone else watching. And thank you for everyone that's helped me out this week. So thank you.
All right, there you go, guys. Trey Zorn smiling ear to ear from the time he got out of that race car after going 4-1.
I would be too after that impressive run for the rookie. As we take a look at the lineup for heat race number 3, Todd Cleaver, as we talked about on the pole, this one out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, to his outside Blake Green out of Mounds, Oklahoma. Nick Drake and Drake Edwards share row number 2, with Paul White rolling off inside of row number 3 to his outside, Mr. Monday Night, Cannon McIntosh out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Tanner Berryhill and Brody Ender round out your 8-car field for 8 laps.
Quick at the notes here, Cleaver, the former NASCAR Roush Racing driver, actually has got a national motor in for this event, so may not be down to that horsepower limitation that we talked about just a second ago.
He's got the link chassis as well, and he'll dive to the bottom in 1 and 2, going side by side with Blake Green, but Green on that outside of the front row will take the advantage into 3 and 4, but here comes Cleaver back wanting the lead.
Fantastic battle here for first on the opening lap as outside Green goes a bounce and Cleaver driving into the top spot. Here comes the rest of the field. Drake Edwards up to second.
And Cannon McIntosh was able to slip in there into that 4th position. Here comes Cannon looking for more as he's now followed Drake Edwards into that 3rd position.
Side-by-side battle, and behind him, Drake will make the pass. He's got 4th, and now we'll watch him shoot it out between your top 3. Edwards on the move out of corner number 2, denied by Cleaver that time by.
Edwards needs to remember who's behind him, and yeah, that's a big mistake there to open yourself up for attack from Mr. Monday Night, Cannon McIntosh.
McIntosh not done yet. Todd Cleaver, you've got company here as he tries to protect the bottom of the racetrack. Cannon now has plenty of time to go to work. Will be 3 laps to go. Going to set up the move possibly into turns 3 and 4, but here comes Drake Edwards trying to roll back.
He's got the speed. I wonder if he's looking at like an outside-in type of move from McIntosh. There's just not a lot of exit room on 4. Trying to nose underneath him in 1 and 2, and there's the pass.
Todd Cleaver, though, gets tight off the corner, and pulling a big wheel stand was Drake Edwards, but Cleaver able to settle it back down, get back to second. Here's the battle for second. Now 3-car tussle. Nick Drake on the rally charge. He'll go to the top side, look to get around Drake Edwards, and set his sights for Cleaver, who leaves the door open around the outside.
Got to keep that bottom defended as there's the checkered flag. Cleaver ends up securing second as the heat race win goes to Cannon McIntosh, and and there's 125 big points for Cannon to start his night. Cleaver, Drake, Edwards, Berry Hill, a good run, a decent score at 82. Green, White, and Enter will be behind the 8 ball. TJ Forge pit report. Earl Hoon Jr. has got Cannon McIntosh.
Buddy, what a tremendous run out there early on in these heat races. The track is narrow, still gripped up. You made it work, going above everyone, dipping and diving all over there. That got to feel good, especially now you are the new high point man.
Yeah, for sure. Car was excellent there. In traffic early in these heat races, you got to have something that's drivable there. And, made very little mistakes, I felt like, and put ourselves in position when we had a chance and attacked. And, just hats off to this KKM crew, Mobile One, Toyota. Big thanks to my guys for making this happen, and I think we got a good piece under us.
We know how aggressive Cannon McIntosh can be in this building, gentlemen. He's going to start his night off with 130 points.
Thank you, Earl. As we take a look at the lineup for heat race number 4 here on Monday night, Eric Blummer on the front row with Jeff Schindler on the outside. Dylan Welch will start third. Outside of him, Jack France, who was Mr. Soup Saturday a year ago. Zach Hampton, Preston Norbury in row number 3. Colin Deming and Justin Peck's going to start shotgun on the field in row number 4.
Heat race positioning here, Chris, sets up really well for Dylan Welch.
Yeah, I think so. And I think what we saw, too, the track widening out, he actually felt better on the top side of the racetrack yesterday, talking to him in practice, than he did on the bottom. So if he can separate himself here, maybe give himself an option, I think it all comes down to this start here.
Yeah, keep a quick eye on Zach Hampton, too. Had a big year with the World of Outlaws this year, first time on tour, and in the Bobby's Clap Motorsports car.
Off and running into turn number 2. Bloomer gets out to the start that he needed.
Well, there goes Dylan around the top side looking for the lead, and hello to the lead, Dylan Welch.
Nice run, Dylan. Flying the Bell Helmet sponsorship off of that. Following him on through.
Zach Hampton in the 71 car.
Yeah. Good call, Clint.
So Welch, Hampton now your new 1-2. Norbury holding on to that third position.
And Peck's gone 8-4.
But now they're all single file, almost equidistant behind Justin Peck, and even in front. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just take a look at Hampton on the bottom. Dylan running kind of the middle groove, that upper groove into turns 3 and 4. As you take a look at Norbury trying to keep pace with Hampton here at the halfway point for that position.
Dylan's transponder has either fallen off or malfunctioning as far as your live timing and scoring goes. Watching Peck roll in here on Preston Norbury. Preston, a.k.a. Bugs. They're working out at turn number 2. And Peck looking at 8-3 would be a nice scoring run if he can complete it. Catching him's one thing, getting around him a whole other question, though.
Yeah, Justin trying to search around a little bit, out opening up his entry, maybe trying to go outside in, but right now trying to build some momentum on Norbury. White flag is out, though. One more time around. Can Peck pick up one more position here as through turns 3 and 4, 3-1 for Dylan Welch. And a strong move there on the opening circuit will take the win. Zach Hampton finishing second. Preston Norbury hold on to third. Justin Peck will finish 4th from 8th. So a couple drivers going at least +4 on this one, but Dylan Welch getting the heat race win. I know that's going to be huge for him in this group owned by John Levesque, running the Ripper chassis.
We get ready for heat race number 5, and Chris Moore has got Dylan Welch up with him, a TJ Forge pit report.
Yeah, fastest announcer in racing, Dylan. Kind of third to first there, looked pretty easy though. What was it as easy as it looked?
Car's really good. I actually kind of thought the track was a little bit more, not ledged up, but just you kind of had to be careful. You'd get over the cushion kind of into the fluff. So, but felt really good. Glad to have that over with. Obviously, going 3-1 is not a ton of points, but did what we needed to do there. So just want to thank John and Ken for having me back to run their car, and Kyle Jones helping us out again, and Kyle at Bell Helmets, and Steve Gilmore from Club Sport, and Todd and Jody Bankson from Florida Safety Systems for making another one of these possible for me.
All right, good luck, Dylan.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. Dylan Welch, good start to his Chili Bowl Nationals here in 2026.
And he'll be the first to tell you, too, it's been huge having Kyle Jones kind of offered. Kyle runs that car part-time as well, and he's been instrumental on the setup for that thing.
Let's take a look at heat race number 5. Trey Marcham's got the pole for this one. Ryder McCutcheon, you saw him on some dirt drafts here, goes outside row number 1. It is Taylor Courtney to the inside row number 2 with Jimmy Light to his outside. Bryson Smith and Andy Eichhoff in row number 3. Briggs Danner and Tyler Hewitt make up row number 4.
These guys seeing an entirely new turns 3 and 4 today that could be throwing them for a little bit of a loop.
The bulk of our iBox Springs flip count occurred in turns 3 and 4 yesterday. So far, so good. Everybody sticking rubber side down. See if that continues with Marcham and McCutcheon from the front row. We are green off the corner. Trey Marcham gets the good run into the first turn. Half a car length, but quickly evaporating as McCutcheon runs up on him in the back straightaway. 1 and 2, just like they started. McCutcheon chasing Marcham after the first lap. Jimmy Lights the P92, he sits 3rd. Briggs Danner up to 5th already as look out. Light into the back of McCutcheon, moving him out of the way. And new P2 is the P92.
Yeah, some physicality here. I was watching Briggs Danner. He was using that kind of what line that Dylan Welch did to get the lead. Now he'll go to the bottom and pick off that spot on Taylor Courtney. So Briggs Danner up 3 to 4th as they come around to the halfway signal.
Down to the bottom, overcooks it going into the turn was Light. He's going to drop 2 spots. McCutcheon gets him back, and Danner gets him back 7 to 3, and a big old puff of smoke for your 4th place runner, Light.
It's only getting worse for Light. Now it completely grenades. Maybe.
It's still got power. It's like he knocked the line off.
Yeah.
It's not long for this world.
It's puking oil now, it looked like. Puking something. There was a big old shower to 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Go ahead and shut her off. Yeah, as soon as you said it had power, he went to 1 and 2, hit the throttle, and it just spewed out.
Our man with the red shoes, Brian Ward, on the scene. You always know where Brian is. White pants, red shoes. What you got down there, Brian?
There's some oil all over his oil can here. It is all over this Nerf bar. So somewhere an oil line has come loose. It's spitting it out. So it was just burning it all off the header there. I think the engine did have power. I see a lot of oil down on the lower frame rail and down inside the block. So somewhere something has come off somewhere in the oiling system and just allowed it to all burn off on the header. So it's not as bad as it could have been, but they're gonna have to go find that and hopefully no damage from the loss of the oil.
Clinton, if it had really blown up, created a lightning hole in the block or knocked a piston out or something, it would have lost power a lot sooner, as is just a line maybe.
Yeah, it was running when he shut it off, so hopefully, he got it shut off in time to not just completely destroy the insides of that engine, but a lot of smoke around the expo building right now to where he definitely, was blowing the oil out on something. So
you're only running, when you do an oil change, you're only running 4 to 5 quarts in these engines, if I remember. I think
it's closer
correctly.
To 7 or 8 quarts still.
Okay.
It depending on your tank size,
sure.
your external tank size. So, yeah, still quite a bit in there.
So long as it stays lubricated for a little while, you're in good shape, and at the point when it runs out, kaboom.
Yeah, that's Ryder McCutcheon kind of got a gift there getting back by Jimmy Light when Jimmy got crossed up in turns 3 and 4, but now he's got Briggs Danner behind him, who's +4 on the field here in this heat race. So let's see if Ryder can kind of get settled in and hold off really fast Briggs Danner for these final 3 laps.
Marcham leads him back to green, and McCutcheon this time.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty on Briggs Danner, guys. I wouldn't be shocked to go yellow here.
Didn't he?
Then we stay green, so that's going to be a 2-for-1 penalty as the yellow flag does come back out. Man, massive mistake by, someone you like to call a veteran driver here in Briggs Danner.
He knew it too.
Yeah.
Although they may have been talking to him on the radio already before that.
And McCutcheon didn't have the greatest of starts there, kind of floated up the racetrack, but if you're Briggs Danner, you just can't drive by him. You got to let off.
So watch him here on the K1 Race Gear instant replay, and the general rule is front tires up to the rear cut tires of the car in front of you.
McCutcheon kind of got sideways and up on the berm, and Danner was just committed to driving by him. I don't know. They tell you 14 times you can't pass before the cone, guys.
Caleb, I got to look at Jimmy's car when they were waiting for that caution to clear the racetrack. You can see the puddle of oil on the racetrack that Chase is getting a shot of. I went under, shined my flashlight. There was a fitting that looked like it had broke, maybe an aluminum fitting. It was hanging down under the car, and all that oil was dripping out of it. So was just a line. One of the fittings broke and was hanging and blowing all that oil out.
You know, a frequent thing on when you're doing a swap over on something is not tightening up the plug of the oil pan quite nearly enough, right?
Yep.
So
let's see if Briggs can rebound here. Early start there by Trey Marcham.
Better restart for McCutcheon that time, able to pull away a little bit, as there's Briggs Danner now having to put in some yeoman's work at the end of this one to get back up front. Quickly dispatches a couple of cars. Now he'll move to third.
now it's the catch-up process as much as it is to try to make a move on him process. And McCutcheon's sniffing the race lead with 1 to go, guys.
Well, this could help if these two start racing. Now the bottom side's open for Briggs Danner. He'll drive around one of them. That McCutcheon thought about 2, and the final time in 3 and 4. Marcham trying to hang on. Briggs Danner gonna finish second. Valiant effort there.
Almost 7 to 1 if Marcham had floated that corner any more than he did. Trey Smart got back down, but wow.
So 118 for Briggs Danner on his...
118 is great, guys, but you still got to think about what could have been, because if he didn't have to pass, 2 or 3 extra cars there and run out of time, he'd be at 130 with a 7 to 1. So
down ramp we go, and now we'll go up ramp. Earl Hoon Jr. has got RTJ Forge Pit Report.
Trey Marcham, winner of heat race number 5. Things were really getting good behind you. Coming to the checkered. Briggs Danner was right there. Could you hear him or could you see him?
Yeah, he showed me his nose. After that caution, I kind of stuck the bottom. I thought that was there, and it really wasn't the correct thing. I should have just went back to what I was doing. I feel like we had a pretty good lead before all that oil got put on the track. So, yeah, pretty good. I just need to be a little bit better. Car's pretty solid. Bandit shocks, buy Bandit shocks. Trademark, exterior restorations, Victory Motorsports, Select Coatings, my boys, and Tub. Thanks to everybody, and we'll see what we got in the qualifier.
Guys, the Newcastle, Oklahoma driver, Trey Marcham, a great 1-to-1 run.
Yeah, and he knows how to get it done in this building, too, from the outside, especially marching his way through the soup on Saturday. An A-main starter in the past. We look at our lineup, Caleb, for heat race number 6.
David Camfield Sr.'s got the pole from this one, the veteran from Decatur, Illinois, to his outside. That's Gage Truby from Blue Springs, Missouri, driving car number 3. Row number 2, Gary Taylor, originally from Snohomish, Washington, the 32. Emilio Hoover in the 9 from Broken Arrow. Dave Collins Jr., Lake Mills, Wisconsin, and Kyle Larson from Elk Grove in the 1K. Jacob Boxell quick in hot laps, and to the outside of Boxell will be Jake Andriotti. It's a good heat race, guys. A lot of stories to follow no matter where you're looking here in this one. Larson will draw a lot of attention, but boy, some fast drivers with opportunity to make their name at the Chili Bowl Nationals.
Yeah, especially if Gary Taylor can get the 32 maybe up to the point. He'll be one to have to run down for sure. Of course, a lot of eyes will be on Larson, especially. Boxell also looked really good in hot laps. Remember, he was top of the board for several groups coming from inside of the final row.
It's a good race car that he's got underneath him for sure. It's got the power, it's got the speed. Now can he put it together? And starting right next to Andriotti, so he's going to have another guy right back there with him who's going to be looking to take advantage of all the opportunities to come up.
Your second place outside, or second row outside starter Emilio Hoover did not have the shootout he was looking for. No. Crashed on practice day and didn't even get to run. So he's looking for a big redemption shot here too, just like GT to his inside.
He had a big prelim night, 1 or 2 years ago as well, as the lights are out coming to green heat race number 6.
It's a wheel stand from Camfield, who's going to get a lot of GT front bumper coming through. You can see Gary's trying to get free of that lane so he can go around, and the little hippity hop from Camfield will give Taylor the lead on lap 1.
Contact with Larson.
Yeah, that's Boxell, keeps it going. Larson able to get by 1 or 2, but could have had a lot more without the contact, as that allowed Jake Andriotti around both of them. Andriotti on the charge now to the inside, looking for second. So Jake Andriotti from the back of the field in 8th up to 2nd. Larson still having trouble with Emilio Hoover.
Larson's got to hold that 5th place spot at minimum if he wants enough points to get through. And there he goes, frees up and gets on the move. Now you're seeing the speed of the champ as he works around to the outside. Hoover drifts wide. There goes Larson cutting down to the inside. He'll make the pass.
Contact with Emilio.
Yeah, boy, and gets a little right there at the end from Canfield too. Wow. Now I say this, if there's good news, 4 cars stopped in the crash. So it's going to box them all up, and we'll see where he sequences out in them, but...
You just got to hope there's not front axle damage there from Canfield coming in at the end, and
you're also
Kyle already had kind of hard right rear contact earlier in the race.
You're hoping they also call the incident on Hoover and not Kyle and stick him behind all the lap cars.
They should, no, they will go in order. They'll like restart in the order they were running in. So if Kyle was ahead of all these cars before the caution came out, he'll fall in line. This is the lap before. Kyle goes to the outside of Hoover in 1 and 2 and gets really close to his outside here. And Emilio drives it deep into turn 3, just had a little better run down the backstretch. And Kyle goes across underneath, and Hoover just kind of wheels up and turns down straight into Kyle's right rear. You almost see him off the throttle,
too. The front end dropped on the Emilio Hoover car here on the straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard racing. Emilio definitely wasn't going to give it up, and Kyle could maybe be frustrated at him for running him wide and then running him down the track, but it's right here. Canfield coming in. I mean,
it was
you'd like to think that's okay, or probably more into the Nerf bar. Then Kyle does a great job to not crash. Gets the car squared up, turns into the backwards roll, and everyone piles in.
Well, radius rods are up. Shock and spring still in good shape. Panhardt's up. I think Larson's car is as close to okay as he can hope for it to be at this point.
Larson was scored ahead of Hoover at the line that time by, so he'll restart ahead of Emilio here.
And should be
ahead of Boxall also.
Ahead of Boxall and Canfield.
Should be behind Dave Collins Jr. in that 40J. Then it should be Hoover behind him, and I believe Boxall and then Canfield.
So the wreck, in the end, costs Kyle nothing.
Yeah.
Because everybody behind him also gets there. What a fortuitous break for your champ.
Either way,
it also closes up your gap between Gary Taylor and Jake Andreotti, which was a 1.7-second gap before the caution.
And that makes Andreotti on an 8-2 run, starting right behind your leader. If he can make that pass, you're looking at your undisputed top score. Nobody will beat him because we go to 7 cars in the next heat race.
And if he stays where he's at, 123 would be good for second, right behind Cannon McIntosh. We'll see what he has. 4 laps to go. We'll keep an eye on Larson, who starts 4th with 4 laps to go in this 6th heat race.
Fascinating development. Car looks stable going into 1, and quickly Larson advances from 6th to 3rd. That puts him at 101 points.
And 1 around in turns 3 and 4. The 86 coming to a stop of David Canfield Sr. We'll bring out the caution yet again with 3 laps to go, stacking back up the field. Really good restart there for Gary Taylor as well, knowing who was on the charge.
Yeah, he's no dummy. He looks at that board, he looks at that scoreboard, and knows who everybody is in his heat race. He knew he had to get up and get gone. As here's the K1 Race Gear instant replay from the corner, and you can see Canfield, too much rotation through the center of the turn and around.
GT and the Brian Dunlap-owned 32 car. They've been paired together for a long time. Dunlap brings some of the nicest cars in this entire building, and it's not just his race cars, his entire race program. No detail missed on Brian Dunlap's team.
The headers alone on that thing. Oh. So I'm giving credit to his chrome plating guy earlier today. It's nice. GT will try it again. 3 to go. Green flag out. Andreotti, a better job of sticking with him down the back straightaway. Andreotti has to deal with Larson now, and oh boy. Camfield with the nose of the race car dangerously close to the cockpit of the Hoover 9.
Yeah. Hoover's left front either appears to be smashed or broken. Hard to tell from this angle. Brian's right there. You can fill us in, but it's definitely down right now.
Yeah, that left front, you can see that it's kind of bent up. The bends usually go backwards. That one, it's a hair backwards and almost a little bit up, so not going to be square on the ground there. Looking at the other side of the car where Canfield got into him, I don't really see any damage. It seems like he just kind of rolled up on that tire and Nerf bar, and everything looks good on the side of the car. Everything looks good on the front of Canfield's ride.
I'm worried about the header on the Hoover car, particularly there, Clint.
Yeah,
that
I felt
was
like
a
it looked
scary spot.
Felt like it looked protected. I mean, it seemed to be okay. So to get these guys fired off, let's get a look at a K1 Race Gear instant replay, and just out of screen right there. It actually started with Boxel getting into Hoover, getting over Hoover's left front, and that's what's going to have bent it.
Canfield just coming through the corner thinking he had a free run to stay on the gas, and unfortunately didn't.
Something to think about here. I know GT and Andreotti both have in-car adjustments that you can use here at the Tulsa Expo Raceway at the Chili Bowl. Kyle Larson does not.
No in-car adjustment on the car.
No, Kyle says he just figures it out on his own. So we'll see what he can dial up with the steering wheel and the 2 pedals.
Back under the green flag with 3 laps to go. Larson this time will try the high line in 1 and 2. Get a good run down the back straightaway, setting his sights on Jake Andreotti, who's on an 8-2 run. Larson started 6th, had the trouble up to 3rd.
Yeah. Larson's car just seems a bit free. It just doesn't make that grip or that absolute launch off the corners that we're used to seeing out of cars that can make big moves here. As GT with 1 to go absolutely dominated this race.
Kyle's talked about not feeling great in the race car, and even then, cars that he hasn't felt great in, he's won Chili Bowl with. So a 63 run will move him to the qualifier. But this one's Gary Taylor's, guys. GT 3-1 for him at 110 points. Nice run for the Dunlap team, and Taylor, as well as Andreotti, now second highest in points at 123. Boxel is in. Hoover right on the line with a 5th place finish.
Yeah, so unofficially, of course, the Chili Bowl Nationals will post the points officially, but you've got McIntosh, Andreotti, Briggs Danner, your top 3, Trey Zorn, Dylan Welch, Gary Taylor, your top 6.
Let's check in up top. TJ Forge pit report.
Yeah, got GT here, guys. The heat race went 3-1. About as simple as you could have it, but all the yellows. Did they cause problems for you, or were you relaxed out front of this one?
I would have rather not had them. They got a good first start there and kind of got going, and yeah, I would have rather not had them, but the track starting to change quite a bit now. It's starting to blow off. So we got a really fast car here. Mike and Brian Dunlap gave me a good car with Witz helping us out, and just got to stay up with the track. The car's fast.
I was going to say, how much of this now becomes paying attention to what goes on from here to your qualifier to this point?
Yeah, that's all of it. I mean, we already could have been a little bit snugger right there, so we got a few more heats, and then, yeah, there's probably going to be 6-7 races before we run again, so we just got to keep up with it.
All right, there you go, guys, trying to keep up with things, but a good start to the GT's Chili Bowl run here.
Because we heard him say that he could be a little bit more snug right there, and I think Larson's going to come in feeling the exact same way. And he's not the only cars that we've seen like that. And that was a topic of conversation yesterday. As the track looks like it has moisture and bite to it, and it just doesn't. You know, you're a lot of wheel spin, a lot of slip, not a lot of right rear stick. So something to keep our eye on as we move forward in these final few heat races.
The drivers who are going to be trying to figure it out: Jesse Schlottfeld and Dustin Morris in the front row, Danny Fry the third, John Barnard in row number 2, Garrett Benson, Christian Miller in row 3, and Cameron Key, cousin Cameron, running in 7th here to start heat race number 7. Well, they're going to have that. The surface is going to be interesting for them to take on and try to figure out. As outside row number 2, that's John Barnard out of Sherman, Illinois, has pulled up and is going up the ramp. So his heat race,
he's coming
back down the ramp. Almost ended before it started, but looks like they've got it figured out.
I'll give him a push off here, as again, slated to start 4th in this one.
Now we'll fall to the tail.
So again, your lineup, your lineup is calculated by the first time they come to the green flag.
So not really what Christian Miller wanted to see. Was hoping to have that 6th starting spot, but instead we'll start 4th.
Inside lane unaffected. Outside lane, yeah, it's looking a little different. Cameron now starts 6th on this one, so that's where his passing points will be calculated from. On the outside of the Benson 7B. So Schlottfeld, one of the rookies. He's got Phoenixville, Pennsylvania's Dustin Morris to the outside. And And you can see Jesse was not going to jump that start.
Oh, careful, up into the wall.
Well, Cameron had said in his pre-race interview that he was going to follow Garrett through. I guess follow him through might have a different meaning from what I understand it to be.
Yeah.
So
wild start there. It looked like maybe Garrett got someone's right rear tire and just straight wheels up and hung a hard right to the front stretch wall.
We're going to get a quick look at the K1 Race Gear Instant Replay.
Yeah.
It's trying a lane change, and there just wasn't enough room to get through clean. As he ramped off of the outside of row number 2 car.
Christian Miller, I think, in the 8XL.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miller kind of wildly across the front stretch there into Danny Fry, which sends Garrett Benson going in contact with Cameron. I would be shocked if there's enough damage that he can't fire back off here, though.
It's going to depend on the
We'll ask Brian what he can see, but yeah, from our vantage point, Brian doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, the drag link took a big hit here, so it's affecting his steering. It's bowed all the way into the body. So yeah, it's got the steering arm in a bind underneath there.
Yeah,
you can get a look right there.
Good look at it there, Brian. Yeah. So that drag link goes from your left front steering arm all the way back to the pitman arm that's connected to your steering box, and so that's what connects your steering wheel to the front axle. And if it's bound up against that body, you just won't be able to turn left and right.
Can run
it's a long, I mean, it's every bit of 37, 8 inches usually.
Yep.
And so it's a long radius rod there, which, you know, makes it awfully flimsy. And that's something we see bend even without crashing on midgets. If you get tight and you turn left real hard or jump the cushion, that drag link will be bent. It seems like I bend one every year here.
And you can run with a bent drag link. It just gets harder to steer depending on the amount of the bend in it.
Yeah, so those guys looking at it right here, and they got a left front and a shock, but no drag link in hand that I see. They're going to need a yellow. Our lights are back out, so that'll kind of shuffle everything back up for our field. We're down to 6 cars.
Second try. Schlottfeld and Morris once again. We're green. Oh, Danny Fry sideways with Cameron Key. And Fry will stop in the corner.
Looking back at the work area, they're waving to get the crew back to Garrett Benson's car. This will save them.
You're connected by 2 Hymens on a drag link, right? So get the bolts removed out of them, and you're good.
Those are going to be 2 studs, and Earl's down there taking away Earl, but there's 2 studs with a 9/16, or it's a 1/2-inch nut, 9/16 headed, that they're just going to pop off and slide right back on. So that's Dad, Nathan Benson right there. Chuck Adams behind him with the hat backwards at the back. Been with Tim Engler's team for a long time now, and there's your impact going in. It's just tight spaces to work.
Earl, anything you're seeing that we can't from this camera?
No, pretty much you guys are describing it and exactly what's happening down in their work area. Looks like they possibly are able to get a change. Garrett Benson is going to rejoin this field, guys.
Man, that's a little bit of chili bowl luck right there. Watch out, guys, easy.
The 2 different colored coil springs across the front would drive me nuts on that car, but...
It's Mike Schur down there. Dave Byers is a long-time, supporters of Garrett Benson. You see everyone jumping in, trying to make something happen, and he's got life here. He's a young kid, though. You got to take a deep breath and resettle. You still have your entire heat race ahead of you.
And you're only 7th, as opposed to...
And you were slated to go 5th anyways.
Yeah,
so,
you're okay. Get to 5th.
Yep.
Get to 5th again, and you're in a qualifier.
Benson was 7th in his prelim B main a year ago. Made an A main start. A class finished on the podium earlier a couple weeks ago, and now G-Man will get back after it and try to salvage this heat race for the Tim Engler group. Lights back out around the speedway, so back to 7 cars.
Cameron up to 4th.
Yeah.
Although, again, initial start was 6th, but...
Yeah, chaotic few starts to this, and to his inside has been a lot of the cause of it.
We'll try this time off turn number 4 as we're at least clean into turns 1 and 2. Can we get out of 1 and 2? Looks like we can. And now Cameron Key up to 2nd, although look out, firing in 1 and deep. Not going to stick was the Christian Miller car, and now the battle for 4th.
Coming back after him, John Barnard's making his way through the field. Barnard to the 4th spot. Big dive bomb to the inside. Miller a little twitchy outside. Give Barnard 3rd. 1 and 2 running away with this. everybody behind him scrambling to keep everybody in the same area code. Morris has dropped back to 5th, and that's the spot that Garrett Benson needs. Benson coming up on Morris, who's looking at Miller. To the outside, swings the G-man. Can he make the pass coming through the corner?
Trying to find a lane right now as Garrett Benson had to get out of the throttle, wondering where Morris was headed into turns 1 and 2. That cost him time. Meanwhile, back up front, Cameron Keys caught your race leader, the rookie, Jesse Schlottfeld. Schlottfeld was a little bit tight through 3 and 4 the last time around. Cameron was looking low. Now he'll go right to the outside groove. These two racing out for the lead with 2 to go.
Jesse's pretty good at knowing where his car needs to be on a regular basis. Chili Bowl, a little bit of a different animal, but he's holding the lead. Coming to the white flag with a big run from Key off the corner.
He must be watching the screen. He's made a couple different line changes. That might be exactly what Cameron needed to settle in on the bottom here. Final turns through 3 and 4. Schlottfeld slides across. Key down low. Sneaks by. Crossover by Schlottfeld.
Wow.
Give it to Cameron Key.
How about that? Cousin Cameron, a 6-1 run, will match what Cannon McIntosh did. Make that one, well, should start 6-1. Unofficially, 130 would be high point, but I think would be 125 on a 6-1 run. But nonetheless, that was big time right there.
Man, that's one of the times watching the screen can bite you. Yeah, Schlottfeld, I think, had him covered. The top side wasn't there, and Cameron moved up and got Jesse to take the bait and snookered right on by him.
Let's go up top for TJ Forge pit interview with Earl Hoon.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, how about it? Cameron Key right at the line. You're able to steal the heat race win from the rookie, Jesse Schlottfeld. The first thing you said out there was, man, that was nerve-wracking. Walk me through it.
Holy cow, yeah. I mean, we just had so much luck there with the way, we just kept moving up further and further. They kept crashing out. So you got to have a ton of luck in this building. We had some there. We were also really fast, too. But, yeah, man, that's scary. Some of those guys, we need a filter system. Some of these people should not be on the front row of a heat race.
Guys, Cousin Cameron with a hell of a run right there. He should be our high point man, or not, tied with Cannon McIntosh.
You are correct, Earl. Tied with Cannon up at the top of the points. Here's the grid for heat number 8. Sean Jackson, Gage Weldon make up the front row. Cole Parker and Shane Golovic, Cade Morton, Logan Prickett, and Jim Van Zandt. 7 cars for 8 laps around, and more points on the line here on night number 1. It is Second Opinion Auto Center night in the building here at the Chili Bowl Nationals.
Just a few heat races to go. Sugar Shane now on the outside of row number 2 will have all the focus. Cade Morton, a veteran out of Coweta, Oklahoma, inside of row number 3. Gage Weldon had a good shootout as well outside of the front row. Lights out, coming to green. Jackson and Weldon gonna set the pace. Weldon outside of the front row will have the whole shot off the back straightaway. Here comes Shane Golovic now, 4-2. Now dives to the inside of the Matt Wood Racing 17 and will challenge for the lead. He's got a rookie up ahead, can be patient here as those two try to pull away from Sean Jackson.
Golovic's going to know the value of this position. Big picture thinking. You'll watch him push the bottom of the racetrack coming out of 4, swing to the high side in 1 and 2 as he lines up the next set of moves coming through the corners.
Weldon doing a nice job as the caution flag waves of switching his lines around, and that's the 17K of Cole Parker that has come to a stop top side of turns 1 and 2.
So Parker to a stop, was running 6th at the time. We'll see what it takes to fire him back off and underway here at the Chili Bowl Nationals. Chris, there's money getting continually added to our purse.
Yes.
You saw the race for the million.
Yes.
Extra 500 on top of the 2 win tonight for the A main event. Well, now, just getting word that we've also kicked in extra money for 2nd place.
Oh.
Taking a look at it, Brian Holbert sends me a text message. Precision Plating, 2nd place bonus in all A mains. Sorry, it's not Precision Plating, it's Lap 5 who is putting it up, and Lap 5 is putting an extra $500 for 2nd place.
Wow.
Every night of the prelim nights.
Nice.
Appreciate to those that donated. And then you mentioned the race for Million Twos. Their Saturday C main, B main, and A main winners, all $500 extra as well.
Precision Plating is sponsoring the Best Appearing Car Award, which we'll talk about coming up later as well. So, money still coming in. Meanwhile, to the work area goes Cole Parker.
Running for Robert Cummings. Ohio Valley Sports Productions on the side of the Coal City, Indiana natives ride this week, and don't see a lot of haste in the work area. Taking a look at the right front. Lights out, though. This is going to hope to defer a caution if you're a Cole Parker fan, because we're coming back to green with 6 to go.
It's a long time for Golubic to settle in and diagnose how he wants to get around Weldon. Gonna go for it here in 3 and 4. To the bottom goes Golubic. Oh, Weldon tried coming back on the outside of him. Golubic with a little bit of a wheel stand, settles it down, and he is your new race leader.
I'd say Shane made some adjustments into that yellow. This car looks like it has a lot more of just pure launch off the corner. Front end got a little lighter, and that thing looks really good out in front of this field.
Found something to get that right rear digging more into the racetrack and create some grip. Prickett now working on Jackson for the spot. Those two change lines, battering each other with the rear tires. Prickett trying to go up and around the top of turn number 2, and he's got the spot.
Prickett, who started 6th, has that 3rd position now as we'll try to run down your top 2. Shane Golubic absolutely rolling. 2 laps ago, he was half a second quicker than Gage Weldon. That time just a couple of tenths, but has pulled away on the white flag lap. As Sugar Shane will dive to the inside, see the checkered flag, and he goes 4-1 here in heat race number 8.
115 for Shane, just keeping right up with everybody else and kind of what the expectations has been. Your big dogs are showing out and scoring well.
Yeah, everyone's done their jobs thus far. The guys that are supposed to get to the front have found their ways, that's for sure.
Might have 6 to 7 drivers out of that make the qualifiers too.
Yeah.
So we need to check in with Chris Moore, who's got Shane Golubic.
Yeah, Sugar Shane rolling right back into this building, man. Your team was so good last year. Do you feel like it's on you to kind of get this thing rolling for this year?
I don't know. These guys, some of them outperformed me last year, so I got to keep up with them. They did a great job last year, but that means nothing this year. So, yeah, I like going early in the week, just kind of keep my mind fresh and be as fresh as I possibly can be on a Monday. But, yeah, it's always good to start off good. Getting the heat race win is checkbox number 1. So, yeah, the NOS Energy Drink car felt really good there. We'll just have to keep up on it and see what happens. It's really cool to get to run the race champions this year and maybe learn something. But, yeah, my guys are working really hard, but this NOS Energy Drink car feels really good.
Clinton said it looked like the car drove off the corner a lot better after that yellow. Was that a driver adjustment or some in-cockpit tuning up?
No, I just dial myself right out if I start touching knobs. So these aren't even connected to anything. They're just for show.
There you go, Clinton. Just a driving change.
Clinton, do you buy that?
Yeah, I wouldn't tell my secrets either, Shane. He smiled way too big.
Yeah. Hey, whatever he did, it worked. Absolutely. And he made a good point, too. Running the race of champions, extra laps, that's got to be huge. Not only for the drivers running tonight, but even if you're running later in the week.
We've got Steve Gresham, Tanner Carrick coming up, row number 1 here. Briley Kilmer and Jerry Coons Jr., Mac Leopard and Michelle Decker. And then it's Blake Anderson's favorite driver, shirtless Nathan Crane, starting row 4 all by himself.
Kicked off the flip count at 9:40 a.m. on practice day yesterday.
Welcome to the party, Nathan Crane.
Yeah.
Noted for not wearing his T-shirt in the pit area at the Badger Midget shows. Shirtless Nathan Crane. So, big race for Carrick here. He's got to keep in lockstep with what everybody else is doing. And at this point, again, his ceiling is limited to 105, but again, it's not letting the rest of those guys get too far out and away from him.
Yeah, it's only 5 or 10 points behind your main pack, so that great start there. Exactly what he needed. Good job by Jerry Coons Jr. to fall in line in second. Those two are going to battle out the rest of this heat race.
This be a good, really benchmark for Jerry. See where his car speed is compared to one of the Keith Coons cars, which has always got as much power and as much handle as anybody in the building. Carrick.
I was going to say, there's a big old battle for third there that nearly got disastrous in 3 and 4 with Michelle Decker holding off the rookie Mac Leopard.
That's Crane's 31C trying to get by Steve Gresham as they look further in the field. Decker still holding off Mac Leopard.
Carrick right now pretty consistently in the 11.7s. Coons has been high 11.8, 11.9 so far, so that time, 11.68.
There's something wrong with Leopard's car, guys. It's not firing off the corners. So it's going to die right here. Yep, dead. And then goes off again, so.
It's like as soon as he gets back to throttle, that time it was okay. He may have died a little bit.
He's just trying to hang on at this point, trying to salvage anything he can.
Well, there goes Briley Kilmer to the outside of Mac Leopard for that position. That'll be for 4th.
5-5 gives you a 75 or 72 pointer. That's above what the estimated cut line was.
Yeah.
And now with one car spinning out.
Steve Gresham in the 27G, who was running 7th.
Leopard's in the work area. Chase McDermott and team to his attention. Looks like they may be going under the hood. Potentially a battery going low on that thing. So hard telling, yeah.
Something small.
The way it was dying coming out of the corner, you don't totally know.
Either way, they need to get him back out there. Again, 5-5 would do it. Gresham's restarting. They'll have Nathan Crane in there in the transfer position.
He gave up 2 spots by coming, and lights are out, so he's not going to get back out this time.
Ooh. So Leopard now C-main bound, at least from our estimates.
Checking all the fuel pickups.
But like you said, out of time, because Tanner Carrick's going to lead him back to green. 2 to go with him and Jerry Coons Jr. at the front of the field. Michelle Decker holding on to 3rd. That brings Briley Kilmer up to that 4th spot. Kilmer will go on attack mode here for that 3rd position.
Kilmer was wicked quick during hot laps. Sticks a nose inside Decker, looking for 3rd here at the very end. Well, Tanner Carrick set the benchmark. Coons knows he's going to need to find a little more speed out of his car, as he was a couple of tenths off for the most part during that race, but he will take 2nd and 103 points. Decker gets 101 for 3rd. Kilmer should make it, and then question marks behind him. We'll check in up top for a TJ Forge Pit Report.
Thank you, guys. Yep, catching up with Tanner Carrick here. He won the final heat race here tonight. You've been very successful in your qualifying night. A 2-time feature winner in your qualifying night. Obviously, you mentioned during hot laps you got a big hot rod underneath you here tonight.
Yeah, we do. It's just tough starting what we do in these heat races up front like that, trying to get any points for these qualifiers. I mean, there's a few guys that already have like a 20-point gap on us, so it's kind of hard to make up there in the qualifier, even though probably start like 4th, somewhere around there, 4th or 5th in the qualifier. So we got to win that one too to have any chance to gain that 20-point gap there on these guys. If not, we have a great race car. Shows right there we have a lot of speed. It's nice to have good speed to start out with so you can build off of it and make it better for the main event there. So even if we start 5th or 6th in the main, I think we have a great car to race our way forward to have a chance to win it. And the 2 nights I've won it, I think I started 4th and 3rd. So definitely didn't come from the front row. So hopefully we could have the same results tonight.
Tanner Carrick getting his 3rd heat race win in his Chili Bowl career. Well, folks, once again, we thank you so very much for tuning in here for night number 1 of the Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. We just are wrapping up heat race action. When we come back from the break, we're going to have more here on FloRacing.
And ready to go for C features, 2 C mains coming up, and then we will head into the qualifiers as you get a look at the BR Motorsports Speed Shot. Shout out to Blake, the gang down in Visalia. Hope you're watching tonight. Big thank you to you for supporting auto racing and, of course, supporting the Speed Shot here on Flow. Chris, top 4 should be moving through.
Yes, top
and
4.
10-lapper, 12-lapper?
12-lapper.
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 All right, Blaine Baxter and Cade Morton will be on the front row of this. Daniel Adler and Jim Van Zandt. Bryson Smith, Jack France, Dustin Morris, Steve Gresham. Andy Eichhoff and Mac Leopard. Leopard buried in the 10th starting spot. And then Cole Parker and Brody enter first 12 in this one. We do have a second tile coming up for you because we're starting 15 here in this one. It's David Campfield Sr. and Jan Evans and Gage Truby, the 15th and final starter of this C feature.
Which, if we're on that trend, I mean, last year it was 177.5 to make the top 16 out of the qualifier. We could be in the 180 mark.
Could.
If we're trending up that direction.
Well, got to put the rubber to the road. Down onto the clay surface here. We'll find out how it works as Baxter and Morton will lead them down. Our first eliminator of the night is up and underway. The green's out. Baxter's quickly going to get to the cushion in turn 1, leaves the bottom open for Daniel Adler. Adler shuffling his way up into second. It is Baxter on lap number 1. Adler sneaks underneath him. He'll lead it with Morton sitting third.
Hop skipping a jump, though, as Daniel Adler is able to take over the top spot. Baxter to second. There's Morton in third. Smith rides in that 4th and final transfer spot. Again, at the ticker at the top of your screen, the gold highlighter on the number position is your transfer cars.
Smith trying to work his way even further forward up this field. We've got some discrepancy between what I'm showing on lifetime unit scoring and who's in. So we flash back to the battle further back in the pack. Van Zandt is the 3V. Smith is the 44. I don't see Jack France ahead of him, so take that for what you will. I believe Van Zandt, the 3V, is now sitting in the transfer spot. To the bottom goes Smith, looking to poke his way in on the low side. 7 to go here as we've got 5 in the books.
Yeah, France is trying to track these two down here. You see him creeping the picture in the Napa Auto Parts 23, sitting on the outside looking in, just trying to keep Smith and Morton in tabs here.
So those 3 drivers, 4th, 5th, and 6th as we see it. Van Zandt, the 3 car. Smith has had his nose underneath him a time or two. Just does not put together the forward drive he needs to get by. C main event here on the night, and you're running like L and K mains coming up on the Saturday show, and that's an early one as we get the battle for the spot, and Smith will make the pass. Top 4 through to the back of B main number 1. France trying to follow. Time running out on Jack France. He makes the bid for position 5. That's still on the outside looking in.
Van Zandt just trying to keep that hole plugged on the bottom, but France is going to elbows up and push his way through. So Jack France now into the transfer spot. Van Zandt and outside looking in.
So 2 laps to go. You're coming around to the white flag, and your lap cars are out of the way. That's your battle for the lead. Blaine Baxter around the outside. Adler down the final straightaway.
Adler got plugged behind the lap car behind, and now he'll fall back to second as the checkered flag waves, and Blaine Baxter's going to get it done, and we've got one stop the top turn number 1. Is that Mac Leopard? It may be.
Leopard, who could only get to 8th here out of this lineup.
It is Leopard, and there was contact with Adler's right rear as Adler had taken the checkered flag. You can see the damage on the tail tank, ripped the rear bumper out, and
calling for the hook.
Yeah.
So Leopard gets up to 8th, but that's where the run will end for him.
Oh, something broke, guys. That thing just hung a hard right there. You're going to see Adler come in right there. I would be shocked if there's not damage to the Jacobs ladder or something on the rear end of Adler's car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
the
a pretty
speed
hard
that he
hit.
caught that
Yeah.
rear K1 Race Gear instant replay from corner number 1.
Well, it's not a quick turnaround, so if there is...
You'll have the benefit of both qualifiers and Race of Champions, so it doesn't have to be a mad thrash on the Adler car. We will take a stoppage here up top for a TJ Forge pit report and Earl Hoon Jr.
Yeah, thank you. And at the line, Blaine Baxter, you're going to use lap traffic to your advantage. You're moving on.
Yes, sir. We're going to move on to the B main, see what we make of it.
Anything you able to learn out there to make adjustments for the upcoming B main?
Just got to drive it way different than the sprint car. You got to keep the wheels spun up and can't let the thing get all bound up.
We're going to see how he does, guys. However, he's still staying alive here on qualifying night number 1.
So Benson and Hoover making up row number 1. It's a fast row number 1. We'll see how they come out to attack the Expo Raceway.
Hayden Mabe and Eric Blummer in row number 2. Dave Collins and Blake Green in row number 3. You should take a look at the rest of your C feature lineup. Row number 4, Colin Deming and Bill Johnson. Row 5, we talked about Paul White. Outside of him, Danny Fry the 3rd. Row 6, 11 and 12 starters are Corey Mullins, Billy Rayburn, and rounding out your field, Jimmy Light, who had the oil leak in his heat race, and Jeff Schindler in the 8X. 12 laps, top 4, keeping their prelim night alive. The rest will be an early Saturday morning as Benson and Hoover lead him to green. Problems for Amelia Hoover, just super tight on the top of the racetrack as Benson will take the lead down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. 2 by 2 they go from second on back as Benson leads lap 1.
Benson and Hoover 1 and 2. Hayden Mave, Eric Bloomer is the 4th place car. Bloomer, a K-Main finisher in last year's Saturday show here at the Chili Bowl Nationals. They're fighting for that spot in and back there. It's getting tight in the corner. Paul White sticking his nose in and getting involved. The Expo veteran climbing forward and up into 6th.
Yeah, that yellow and black, that's Dave Collins Jr. who sits one spot out in 5th. So you're looking at 5th, 6th, 7th. Right behind is 57. Got a little squirrely off the corner of Blake Green in the red and blue machine, trying to use the outside of the racetrack. But these drivers have got to hustle to catch Eric Bloomer for that 4th and final transfer spot. There's Bloomer running the top side, and here comes 56 of Bill Johnson up to 5th for a second. Now he'll get it as Dave Collins has an issue on the bottom of the racetrack. So there's your battle for the transfer spot. It's Bloomer and Johnson now in a race. They're side by side behind them.
Beep, beep, coming through Paul White. Caution lights on.
Yeah.
That's
Light. Jimmy Light's 92. We saw him earlier this evening with oil spewing out, and you have to wonder if there wasn't something more terminal to it.
So a second problem for Jimmy Light, who comes to a stop, bringing out the caution. Garrett Benson, Emilio Hoover had the top 2 spots in control.
Push quad out to Light's 92P. Halfway home, 6 in, 6 to go, Chris, and top 4 has stayed pretty stationary over the early course here of this C-Main event. A lot of drivers have been swapping around that 5th position, but nobody up to take it away from Bloomer quite yet.
Yeah, it was getting hot and heavy. Bill Johnson, Paul White was coming through the field, who started 9th, up a few positions. Bill Johnson up 3, and I think Johnson was the only car in that kind of scrum that made that outer lane work, was able to get around Dave Collins Jr. as well as White. So looking at Bill Johnson, maybe has something for Eric Bloomer as they continue to try to work with the Jimmy Light machine. Brian's got his head in the side and trying to figure out what's going on. Brian, has he told you anything? It looks like they're putting the hook on it.
Yeah, he said his shifter broke and he can't get it out of gear. So the rear end's locked in gear right now. They can't push it.
Which is a problem for hauling the car off the track, but it doesn't make any...
Well, that happened earlier. They also had to tow him off the track because it wouldn't come out of gear when he was in the infield earlier this evening.
I wonder what style shifter he's got on that, because he's got the old style, like, twist knob, T-knob shifter that you got over the left-hand side. Those things are pains. Get that nice MPD straddle shifter that set up on the right-hand side of the car.
It's almost like you know a guy that sells them.
MPD, broadcast partner here with us here at the Chili Bowl Nationals. So they make good race car parts.
6 to go here for Garrett Benson, who leads him back to green. Emilio Hoover will jump to the top side of the racetrack. Hayden Mave and Bloomer are going to be your top 4 as of now. We'll keep an eye on the transfer spot because Bill Johnson not done yet, although he's got fits in the form of Paul White starting to make a charge as well. White is nearly there. As you take a look at this battle, Johnson had it for a minute. Up and over the berm on the inside went Bloomer, and Bloomer around, and that's going to connect all sorts of cars. Bill Johnson looped it around. So Johnson was battling Bloomer for the top, for that transfer spot. Collecting with him is Dave Collins in the 40R.
You can almost see how it went down there. The 56 kind of wedged his way to the inside of Bloomer. Bloomer said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm going to stuff it right back in there and do what you just did to me. And took 3 cars out in the exchange, and heck, make it 4 as the 57F of Blake Green also has rolled to a stop. Rex aplenty.
We got we're all stopped now.
Uh-oh.
We got cars piled up on turn 4. It's a 3-stack.
Paying us a visit here in the Brian Kapinski broadcast booth. They've all come to a stop top side of turn number 4 as you see them untangle the Bloomer machine with Bill Johnson. Again, that was the battle for 4th.
At the point in time where they wrecked, they had both lost the spot.
Yeah, take a look at the
Paul
K1
White
race.
who had gotten through.
Yeah, it's the K1 Race Gear replay, and you see Bloomer shove it in there on the bottom, up and over the berm, tags Johnson. Johnson just kept his foot in it.
Yeah, just never let out of it.
I hate to say it for Bloomer, but if he doesn't get up on the berm there, he actually probably makes that pass back. Another look at it from the corner is here comes the mass destruction that some of our race fans have been waiting for.
Corey Mullins shooting the gap there. That was impressive avoidance. Taking over the curtains.
And way to go, Talon.
Bloomer, who was on the hook, now into the infield. As the lights go out around the speedway. 4 to go. Paul White now in the hot seat in the 4th and final transfer spot as the G-man, Garrett Benson, leads him back to green.
Benson was under fire from Hoover on the last restart. Boy, a little crossed up coming out of turn number 2. Hoover makes the big run on him down the back straightaway. Looks around the top, bounces the front end. It's a car length separating them. So we're down to 3 laps to go, and Paul White makes the pass for 3rd, at least for a second.
Benson's got to be careful, make sure he doesn't hang off turn 2. That's where Hoover gets that big run on him.
Your top 4 has got a lot of pad. It is a full 1.1 seconds back from 4th to 5th. So your transfer car is in a pretty safe spot for now as we come to the white flag.
Slick off turn 4 there. See if Garrett Benson can hang on for 4 more corners.
Hoover's going to want it, though, and there he goes to the outside. Final time in a 3 and 4. It's a drag race off the corner, and Emilio Hoover maybe at the stripe. Will he get it? I think so, and he will. Timing and scoring updates to Emilio Hoover.
0.04 of a second, Chris.
Yeah, it's about as close as you can get.
So it's Hoover the winner, Benson, White, and Mabe going to make the run through. As checkered flags for them, and to the back of the B features they will go. They have a little bit of time, as let's take a look at the K1 Race Gear Instant Replay, and if you ever wondered what .040 looks like, there it is.
Garrett Benson lets out of the throttle right there at the end. Didn't want to see a replay of earlier.
Welcome back to the Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink, here with the winner of C feature number 2, Emilio Hoover. Emilio, you were committed to the top. Finally were able to make it work on that last lap. What was the difference to make that pass to get the C feature win?
Oh, I mean, mostly it's just the bottom just kept going away. I watched him. He was drifting up higher and higher coming up the corner, and the top just kept feeling better, so I just ripped it harder and harder and managed to find a way past.
All right, keep ripping it, man. Good luck in that B.
All right, thank you very much.
There you go, Emilio Hoover, going to come from the back of a B feature. Guys, we've got qualifiers rolling out on the racetrack.
Yes, sir, Chris Moore. Qualifier number 1, 6 invert. Your high point guy will go out outside row number 3 as it's Noah Harris and Trey Marcham up on the front row. Kyle Larson, Zach Hampton in row number 2, Trey Zorn and Kenan McIntosh in row number 3. Todd Cleaver, Tyler Hewitt, shirtless Nathan Crane, and Taylor Courtney making up the back row here in this one. Good spot for your defending champion, Kyle Larson, inside that second row worth 110 if he can drive forward and into your top spot, but a lot of talent in and around him. Zach Hampton had a really good looking heat race, and coming from behind him will be Cannon. Should be a battle.
First of 4 qualifiers, passing points to solidify top 16, make the show as we're underway in the first one as they dive into turns 1 and 2. Marcham to the top side. Here comes Kyle Larson up and over the berm, looking for the lead, but Marcham now going to pull up to the outside of Noah Harris as they go 2 by 2 by 2 on lap number 1.
Careful, making Larson and Hampton making contact. There goes Kenan McIntosh looking for a lane to the inside, but Larson knew he wanted to get off the bottom groove. He's up around the top. He's following Marcham, your leader, looking to split the difference.
Yeah, thought about going middle here. He will in 1 and 2, trying to thread the needle. Now we'll go to the bottom in 3 and 4 after taking over second, and Larson now to the lead for a moment, but Marcham's going to hold strong on the outside lane.
Got clear of Harris and gave him a clean lane as McIntosh will make his way into third. Battle up front, Trey Marcham. Be huge for his confidence if he can hold off both Larson and McIntosh, and now here comes McIntosh reeling in Kyle.
Kyle's going to go back to the bottom here in 3 and 4, across the nose of Marcham, slider complete, and Larson out of the point. Here comes McIntosh now. Marcham trying to go back on the attack mode, can't get it done that time. Here comes McIntosh with a full head of steam into 3 and 4. He'll go across the front end of Trey Marcham, and now here comes McIntosh, 6th to 2nd.
All right, the battle we've been watching for, Larson and McIntosh, now in your screen with 4 to go in this one. Kyle trying to stretch his legs. He's added some pad between himself and Cannon, who tries to run him down in the high groove. Back straightaway, it's McIntosh with Marcham really not letting him go here. Marcham only a couple of car lengths back. As we've got 2 in the air, 2 to go this time by. Larson looking for the qualifier win.
McIntosh just trying to pull away. He's going to run out of time here, but solidifies that second position as Larson's already halfway down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. 110 points for Young Money Kyle Larson here in qualifier number 1. Put him at 211 after his heat race scored 101 points.
6-2 for McIntosh is worth 113. So McIntosh still outscores Larson and has put together 2 really good runs. It's going to be hard to envision somebody eclipsing Cannon for high point here. But Kyle did what he had to do. He's done what he's had to do on each of his races. He's just kind of been ceiling capped by the pill draw. But first 3 rows are going to be an easy prediction here for Kyle, at least in the game.
So for Cannon, 238 combined. You're looking at last year's front row lock-in was 231.
As we check in with Earl Hoon Jr.
Kyle Larson, a great 3-1 run there in the qualifier. That car absolutely looks stuck out there. From what we're seeing on the monitor, did it feel that good?
I mean, it feels stable for sure. Felt a little bit better than we did there in the race champion stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I think just keep inching on it. Like I said, the stability feels fine. Just still, I mean, feel like I slide a little bit too much, like down the straightaway to early entry. So, which is typical here the last few years. But yeah, we'll just keep working on it. I mean, you get a lot of laps tonight, thankfully, being a race champion. So we'll get that race in and see where we shake out. And I would assume starting the front, 3 rows at least. So we'll have to pass some good cars, but hopefully we can get it done.
Kyle Larson having a lot of confidence after that qualifier win, guys.
Clinton, what does he mean by sliding on the front straightaway?
Yeah, so right as when you go to rotate your car into the corner, you want to feel that right rear underneath you so you can kind of control how hard you drive it into the corner and like how far it's going to slide. He doesn't have that sensation of grip, and so it's just skating on him. So it's a free slide with no grip until he gets to something like the cushion to stop him and turn him and go the other direction.
Here comes qualifier number 2. Jacob Boxella's got the front row along with Alex Sewell, Logan Prickett, Tanner Carrick in row number 2. Shane Golovic, Cameron Key, Jesse Schlattfeld, Nick Drake, Drake Edwards, and Riley Kilmer making up the 10 here in Q2. I was going to say, you're not on the gas a ton during the straightaways here, and especially as the track slicks off, Clinton. So it's a lack of forward drive on the straightaway in simple terms?
Maybe a little bit. I feel like it's just the sensation of feeling where your right rear is at all the time. Like I feel like he maybe loses that feel of his right rear, and so there's just a bit of uncertainty of how far it wants to slide into the corner, how hard you can attack it. So yeah, he just wants to be more in control of his car and not have that brief moment of the car sliding, like it would feel on ice on a highway or something like that.
I can't do anything with this.
You don't have the control of it.
Boxell and Sewell, your front row for qualifier number 2 as we drop the rag on this one. And they drag race into turns 1 and 2. Boxell will go up the hill. Sewell will go outside in. We'll try to battle for the lead here into turns 3 and 4. As Carrick is there waiting in the wings as well. Lap 1 to Boxell by nose.
Good punch, counter punch there between Sewell and Boxell. Boxell off the top of the drive getting into 3. Sewell gonna change. He'll go up exiting on the high groove. Still working the bottom of 1, and Carrick coming after him for the second position, bringing Golovic with him.
Yeah, Golovic here watching what Carrick is doing, was running the bottom in 1 and 2, will go top in 3 and 4 as all over the curb is Tanner Carrick trying to keep pace with Alex Sewell. Sewell ripping the high side. Here comes Golovic now. Nice move to the inside of Tanner Carrick.
They were 3 wide for a second. Carrick, the loser in that one, is Golovic inching along on the bottom. Sewell now up top. As he'll show him the right front tire, can Golovic make it up through 3 and 4 as the race for second getting hot and heavy with even more cars entering the fray. Here comes Key.
Cameron Key now peeking a nose to the inside of Tanner Carrick for position number 4. Nick Drake in the wings back in 6th as Golovic pushes up the hill. Here comes Carrick back underneath trying to make that battle for 3rd heat up as meanwhile now Golovic setting his sights on Alex Sewell for that battle for the runner-up spot.
Golovic got bailed out by a bad corner from Sewell. He takes advantage of it. Up Up and into second goes Golovic, trying to bring Carrick with him. Carrick sticks the bottom, something good there through 1 and 2. Tanner Carrick's got third. Now, big flyer around the outside, trying to run down Golovic down the front straightaway.
Here comes Tanner Carrick now, getting that 98 wound up on the top side of the racetrack, setting his sights again on Shane Golovic. Golovic will now protect, go the outside, take that lane away from Tanner Carrick. Those two now pulling away from Alex Sewell, who's got Cameron Key waiting in the wings on the outside.
We're here on the final lap. The white flag is in the air, and now here comes the checkered. Boxel does what he has to do, wins the qualifier. The war for second goes to Golovic and then Carrick. Sewell 4, Key 6 to 5. That puts Cameron not in a massive amount of danger, but it's only 77 points. It's going to get tighter for him. Well, let's check in up top. Chris Moore, who you got?
Yeah, thank you, Caleb Hart. Have Jacob Boxel here, a Chili Bowl rookie. We talked a lot about rookies today. Your name didn't come up yet, but now you've changed that. A great start to your Chili Bowl. How good do you feel in this race car right now?
I feel really good. Matt Westfall's definitely got me comfortable in this Four Kings hot rod. So, yeah, I needed to win that there from the pole. I'm not really sure if that'll lock us in. It'll be very close, but yeah, Matt and everybody back there are giving me a really good piece with this link and stand. So yeah, just like I said, hopefully that locks us in. If not, we'll be in the front of the B.
What kind of expectation do you have for the rest of your night?
Yeah, definitely for being a rookie, I'd like to get it locked in and stuff. So that was our goal here. So winning the qualifier was pretty cool too. So I just had to do what I needed to do there.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
There you go, one of the rookies, guys. We didn't mention him too much, but he's changing that here after a qualifier win.
Boxels look good tonight.
Yeah.
Been a good run for him. Here comes qualifier 3. It's Keith Rauch and Justin Peck making up the front row of this. Michelle Decker and Jerry Coons Jr. Dylan Welch and Jake Andriotti. This is a fascinating first 3 rows. Joby Miller, Ryder McCutcheon, Christian Miller, and Matt Lux making up the 10. Going for Q3 and those very valuable points.
You're going to say there's a qualifier that doesn't necessarily have the juggernauts in it. This is the one for sure.
And at the same time, a lot of fast drivers, a lot of fast cars.
Yeah.
It's a big opportunity for Jake Andriotti, even Dylan Welch as well, as the green flag is in the air.
Welch shot to the high side quickly there.
Guys, I don't think Andriotti's car's running. His car's not running under full power right now. There's no way.
Well, we've got one in the wall. It's Matt Lux. We stay green as he keeps his foot in it. You mentioned Dylan going high side. Now Jerry Coons Jr. is going to do the same, this time getting around Welch. Now Coons back to third, looking for second. And a good battle here with Keith Rauch. Watching the bottom side, Joby Miller starting to march his way too.
A couple of veterans of midget racing here going wheel to wheel and side by side for second.
Update on Andriotti, guys. He's in the infield. He is done for this qualifier. So the third high point guy off the racetrack completely.
Gonna stick him with a 10th place finish in this. What a disaster for Jake Andriotti.
Good battle here for fourth as Joby Miller starts to work his way underneath the 60X of Dylan Welch. Dylan to the outside's been committing the last couple of laps, and Joby Miller just using the berm to the inside here at the halfway point. Welch able to pull away, and now Dylan's got that car wound up. Here comes Keith Rauch into the front windshield, and Dylan's going to go top shelf in 3 and 4.
He really needs to get Rauch just for point scoring purposes here. He'll drive up and around the outside, and I think Dylan knew that as much as anybody in the building. Gets the spot. See if he can do anything with Jerry Coons Jr. as it is Peck, Coons Jr., Welch 1 through 3. Joe B gets this spot too. He's put together a decent run. Not maybe an A-main making run, but something that's getting him closer. As 2 flags up in the air. We'll see the white flag the next time by on this 10-lap qualifier. Here's the run for Joby Miller. Up and around the high side, wrestles it off. Rauch down to the bottom. Joby's got the spot. As he's got one more time around, give this win with relative ease for Justin Peck.
We'll pick up 105 points, going 2-1. Jerry Coons Jr. finishing second. So 4-2 run for him gives him 103 points, 96 to Dylan Welch to add on to his top 8 points scoring after the heat race. As you look at your unofficial results.
Peck's looked good tonight. He's just had the bad misfortune of starting behind in a heat race with Kyle Larson in it.
Yeah.
And then maximizes his points here, so outscores the other 9 drivers in qualifier 3. We'll check in. Earl Hoon Jr. has got Justin Peck.
Got Justin Peck up here, guys. Is tonight the night we crack open a couple Miller Lights here in Victory Lane?
You know, I hope so. We really didn't start out that great yesterday or today. I mean, just seems like I'm fighting a little tightness down the straightaway. Like, it just feels like I'm over pushing and can't really rotate in like I need to. So made quite a few significant changes there. Seemed to help out, but just overall, like, just still fighting a race car a little bit. But we're moving in the right direction. You know, I've got my dad on the wrenches here in my midget program, and I'm really like working with him. It seems like we usually can hit on something as time goes on. So, you know, shout out to him for turning some wrenches, and shout out to Jerry Petty and Phil Rossi for giving me this opportunity. You know, Duramax came on board for this week on the whole on my car, and then we've got Dryden and Relodyne also on the rest of the Petty Performance cars. So, you know, happy to pick up that qualifier win, which we needed to do. Try to make this thing a little better for the feature.
Justin Peck is going to go to work here with his crew and see what final adjustments they have to make.
My apologies. Peck was in the heat race with Welch, who had gotten out in Rabbit and couldn't run him down in that one. But it's been a good night for Justin so far. We'll see how it continues to develop as we are on, and engines firing here for the final qualifier number 4. Second Opinion Auto qualifying night here in the arena. Our coverage of the 40th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink.
One more opportunity to see. I think Briggs Danner has the best shot here. She took a look at your qualifier 4 lineup. Gage Weldon and Sam Hines on the front row. Nick Hoffman won a heat race earlier. He'll start third. Outside of him, Preston Norberry. GT, Gary Taylor, and Briggs Danner in row number 3, with John Barnard in row 4 with Tanner Berryhill, Brian Schwarbauer, and Sean Jackson in row number 5. That is your cars for qualifier number 4. Danner sitting at 118 coming into this one.
I think he's only at 202.
Larson is at 211.
211?
Yeah.
Okay.
McIntosh, Golovic, Larson, top 3 right now as the green flag is in the air. And off and rolling we go in qualifier number 4. Hoffman didn't get the start he wanted to, protected the bottom in 3 and 4, but has second. As here comes Gary Taylor trying to monster truck his way through. Sam Hines holding him back there as we fan out down the racetrack, and Preston Norbury will hold on to the 3rd position now as Nick Hoffman in his sights. Lap 1 though goes to Weldon. Here comes Briggs Danner, already started 6th. He's now cracked himself into the top 4 up to 4th.
That's Taylor trying to run him down in the 32 car as Danner gets to the bottom. Car sideways, it's Hoffman collecting up Norbury, who ends up snagging Hines, the 39H there at the very end. 3 cars together, and two of them end up stopping.
Yeah, Hoffman super lucky there, but there might be damage to his header, guys. I think his header's sticking out a little bit the wrong way.
See if we can get a shot of it. Yeah, kind of maybe bent out to the left outside of the nerf bar. As they try to get Hines' car pushed back out onto the racetrack. Again, was running 5th. Norbury stopped running 3rd. And there's a look, and yeah, you can see it.
It's just bent up over out of that nerf bar, but as long as it's not sealed off, you keep going. It might even be torn down there where it's kinked at.
Let's take a look. We've got a K1 Race Scare instant replay, and it's Hoffman overshooting it into the turn. That right rear getting up in there and doing the damage. Norbury, the 77, that is the younger Norbury. His dad is Bugs, and that's Bugs is the guy behind Coyote Race Cars, who we saw so much at the Tulsa Shootout for the Micro World. So one of a big old group of up-and-coming drivers out of Arizona. Hoffman continues on in 2nd. We'll see how he's affected here, as it's Danner coming after him and GT right in behind him as we go back to green.
Danner knows it's time to go now, and he's got it underneath of Nick Hoffman. Will take over 2nd, 6-2. Again, he's the only driver that can unseat Cannon McIntosh for the pole position of tonight's feature. If he can get one more car.
6-2 is worth 113. Still a front row showing for him.
For sure. Just who wants to start on pole and who wants to start outside. And Danner's not satisfied with that. He's going after your race lead. Gage Weldon, again, the rookie, a little slip up there for Danner, will lose a little bit of time. We'll check the gap this time as it'll be 4 laps to go. Gage Weldon trying to hold off indoor auto racing feature winner in the TQ on Friday night, Briggs Danner.
It's a nice run for Berryhill, who just until the last lap had gone 8-4 in the Second Opinion Auto Center car on their sponsored night here in the arena. He is slamming it out with Taylor and has the nose ahead as we come in to just 3 to go.
Yeah, doesn't do a whole lot of racing anymore either, so when he gets in this building, it's a learning curve to get back on the throttle, and he's going after it with GT right now for 4th, as the 2 to go signal was shown around for Gage Weldon, who's still holding on over Briggs Danner. As you watch this battle between Berryhill and Taylor, and Gary Taylor will have that advantage for 4th. Oh, and he puts a little bit of parks it on the nose of Berryhill, and GT has the spot, but the white flag is out. Now the checkered flag for Gage Weldon, holding off Briggs Danner, who goes 6-2 and will secure a front row spot in tonight's feature event. As you look at your unofficial results, 100 points for Weldon, 113 for Danner, should solidify that front row. Not a lot of gainers from 3rd off on back.
Berryhill, the really only guy of note, coming from 8th, and he had 4th there. Every time that he left the bottom, though, GT got back by him, so he'll watch the FloRacing replay, maybe kick himself in the shorts and say, what are you doing? Stay low. Would have been fine.
Let's go upstairs for a TJ Ford pit report with Chris Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Chris Wellner. Have another Chili Bowl rookie getting a qualifier win, Gage Weldon. Gage, get out front. You got guys like Nick Hoffman, Briggs Danner chasing you down. You never made a mistake. Why were you able to stay so calm up front with such good competition behind you?
Yeah, the track was just how I liked it, and the car was amazing. Caleb and Travis, they've been working really hard, and John, this thing, it was a dream to drive. It was easy, so yeah, it's hats off to those guys.
Dad was really excited. I don't think have barely cracked a smile. Why so calm?
Job's not over yet, right? So we gotta have a good finish in the A, and hopefully set us up good for Saturday.
All right, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Another Chili Bowl rookie, Gage Weldon, getting a qualifier win. More to come from the Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink, live here in Tulsa, Oklahoma on FloRacing.
Well, guys, you look at the shot from the outside in and the gigantic golden driller statue that tells you you're in Midtown Tulsa, Oklahoma. Such a cool shot of the driller itself, encapsulating this event, the 40th annual Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink here on FloRacing. I'm Caleb Hart, Clinton Boyles, and Chris Wellner joining me in the booth for night number 1. And guys, it is time. Our biggest chance to preview Saturday night's A-Main starts now with the Race of Champions, which is loaded up, staged on Raceway, and ready to go with a freshly tilled top side of this racetrack, Clinton.
Yeah, I think we're going to be really good here. We saw the track widen out over the course of those C mains and qualifiers, and I think we're going to see a similar amount of laps between the cars and the laps here in the Race of Champions, and this thing should get really wide to kind of a gnarly curb again. It was starting to get pretty thick there in the end of those qualifiers, and yeah, this is going to be really good to see how this track evolves. It's going to give the guys that are racing in the A-Main later on tonight a good idea of what it's going to be like, because I would think that we'd see a similar rework before that A-Main.
Chris Wilner, we have got an absolutely star-studded field here for the Race of Champions. We know Christopher Bell is going off inside row number 1. What are you watching for specifically out of Christopher and about the guys around him who are going to be trying to chase him down?
Yeah, I think Christopher, and he talked about a little bit when he was done with qualifying, was he wasn't even sure that was going to stick for pole. Like, he thought he wasn't even that comfortable with it. I'd be curious what kind of adjustments they made on to see kind of what he does from the front of this field. But I've got my eyes on drivers like Kyle Larson that are in this field that are going to be running here just a little bit later on for a 30-lap feature event, because Kyle, and it seems like he and Paul have had to really start to work on their car a little bit. Clinton wasn't really happy after both the heat race, of course, and also the qualifier. Now he starts in the first couple of rows tonight, so I think this is a good measuring stick against some competition like this to see where you're at going into the feature event. But to Clinton's point, I think to see this racetrack change and evolve over 25 laps will give us a good idea of what to see later on. But then obviously just to see where some of the other drivers we're going to have our eyes on later on in the week start to shake up as well, because yes, although this does not count for anything towards Saturday night, at the same time, you want to win the Race of Champions and call yourself the best of the best.
It's going to be a high-paced 25 laps for sure, with just the top side of the racetrack rework and not a lot done to the bottom. And I feel like the top was already kind of dominant here. So this is going to be a really fast-paced, aggressive 25 laps here for these guys to go really get after it. And lap traffic will get super interesting for your leaders. And it's going to be, you know, I'm curious to see if they can make the bottom work, because I feel like your corner exit in turn 4, kind of the middle of 3, off of 4 exit is really slick, and turn 2 is getting slick on exit also around the bottom, and there wasn't any work done down there.
Chris Wilner, to your point, 3 drivers are running this Race of Champion, and will also be running a main event action later on. And the 3 big ones that we think of: Kyle Larson, Shane Golobic, and Cannon McIntosh. Golubic's going to have a nice upfront starting position. Cannon's got to race in traffic a little bit. I wonder, to his point, he's starting mid-pack. I wonder if he's going to take some notes for this and go, okay, when I'm out there racing amongst lapped cars later on, this is what I felt.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, there's not a whole lot of risk as far as the fact he's in a different car, right? This isn't his prelim night car, so you can be a little bit of aggressive. But also, to your point, Caleb, I think you see how the track evolves in what we like to call in NASCAR land dirty air, right? And you're back in traffic, and you have to find and pick and choose your battles of how to get through the field. So Cannon could probably almost learn maybe a little bit more than what drivers like Shane Golobic and Kyle Larson can do starting closer to the field. Although Kyle's starting 10th tonight, so he kind of can learn the same thing as well.
Yeah, I would imagine they both have similar playbooks here.
Yeah.
Okay, what does the car feel like when I'm in and behind somebody, when I need to have maneuverability, and, you know, there's some turbulence coming off from the cars in front of me, even though they don't have wings on them.
Yeah.
A little. I mean, you're following somebody through that's cutting through some air. And
it's anything just timing, right? Timing
the
things.
Dirtiness of the racetrack.
Yeah.
You know, the car in front of you can throw crumbles one direction or the other, and if you land on top of those crumbles, then that creates a dirty racetrack, and you struggle to find grip on that. But yeah, we're about to find out. The lights are out.
Christopher Bell and Spencer Baston are on the front row. It's Logan Seavey and Shane Golobic in row number 2 as we are up and underway for the Race of Champions. It's a nice start for Bell on the bottom. Baston up and around the high side, pursuing him into turn number 3 after lap number 1. Bell leads, Baston chases, Seavey has the 3rd spot.
Seavey, the only guy working the bottom at 3 and 4. You can kind of see, makes up some ground on Baston, who misses it.
Baston missed it that last lap. Seavey had to get on the binders, now go to top side in 1 and 2.
Baston lost a mud cover there in 1 and 2. We'll see if we get a yellow or that got up out of the racing groove.
Take a look back at Emerson Axum in one of the Swindell cars on the bottom of the racetrack, battling Ryan Timms inside. That's for position number 5, matter of fact, as now the lanes migrated to the outside for the top 4. A little deeper in the field, Jason Persley, Corey Day in the mix, as well as Michael Pickens.
There's Day trying to get in through the middle on Persley. Persley getting away from him down the back straightaway as Corey switches lines back to the bottom. In front of them, battling for position, you see Kyle Larson. Larson racing around with Tanner Thorson for the spot. Thorson in 7th, Larson in 8th. Nice high-low battle between the 2 of them.
Yeah, Larson picking up 2 early, now settling in behind Tanner Thorson. As you can see, everybody migrating now around the outside of this racetrack. Taking a look back now at Logan Seavey, getting back to the whip now. We'll go to the bottom in 1 and 2, taking a peek underneath Spencer Baston for the 3rd spot.
Baston looked really bound up on the bottom. Once he got to the top, that car is settled in. He's starting to put some better laps together, but Seavey
Corey Day up on the
pursuit.
bike and cartwheels into turn 4, and he comes to a stop right in front of our broadcast booth. Hit the cushion, got up on the bike, it settled down, and then pogoes right back up and started to cartwheel in front of us, bringing out the first caution.
Now, guys, the booth is the official arbiter of this one, but how about it? Our first addition to the Eibach Springs flip count of the night?
Yeah.
I don't know way into the Race of Champions.
This will be borderline. He didn't even get inverted at all. It was more of just a cartwheel, although we will count it as our 2nd flip of the day, or of the Chili Bowl.
We got one earlier?
No, I think of the Chili Bowl starting yesterday. Here's a look. I don't know if this...
He did not get fully inverted on that one, but again, we'll let the booth be the arbiter. Either way, big ride for Corey Day, and It's going to knock him out of this. Safety crews on hand, picking up the front end of it and hauling it off.
He had a disappointing Chili Bowl last year. I know he and Willie Kane and the West Coast Swing threw a lot of things at this car, trying to get it dialed back in, to get back in this building and get back to where he was a couple of years ago as a prelim winner, but that is not what you want to see. Not even a chance to really get a feel 25 laps into a feature event, Caleb, for Corey.
Yeah, for a team that needed to gain a little bit. Day will haul off early, running top 10 at the time. In fact, he was exactly 10th coming in, and now he will exit. Everybody else shuffles up a spot from behind him. As we are 17 laps to go officially. 8 in. Bell, Golubic, Baston, Seavey and Timms, Axum and Thorsum, Larson, Persley, and now Pickens, your top 10 cars.
Yeah, Michael started 5th, Michael Pickens, so started to drop a little bit in that early session as we're back under the green flag with 17 to go. Bell gonna pace the field. Baston now to the bottom, trying to get underneath Shane Golubic. Golubic will power through on the outside lane as your top 3 continue to slice and dice. Here's a 3-wide battle off the corner, a little farther back with Tanner Thorson, Logan Seavey there, as well as Ryan Timms.
Timms driving up and around the outside of Emerson Axum. Axum using the berm, just trying to launch him forward as they're wheel-to-wheel coming off the corner. Momentum for Timms on the high side before he gets a little twitchy going into turn 1, and now has to throw it in down on the bottom to reclaim the spot going into 3.
Yeah, battle for 5th here, hot and heavy between both of those drivers. Timms, the Knoxville Nationals winner, Emerson Axum trying to get wound back up here as he can't get it done. Tanner Thorson now creeping into the picture for this battle for 6th. Battle up front, though, starting to heat up. Caleb Hart, Christopher Bell has some company.
Yeah, getting a little bit to feel from Golubic. 3rd and 4th getting even more contentious as well as we continue to watch. This is 7, 8, 9, etc. here on the field. Pickens in the 54 is your 10th place car. It's Thorson throwing bombs with Axum, who's in the white and shiny blue machine. Axum tiptoeing around the top. Thorson getting by him, trying to bring Larson with. Larson down to the bottom, bringing Pickens down there in 8th and 9th. Larson down to the low side. Trying to put the moves on Axum. Axum momentum back up and around the top as we flash forward. That's for 3rd.
That's for 2nd.
That's for 2nd. Sorry, Stevie got by Baston.
Yeah, and he closed in on Bernal in a hurry. Bell, your leader, has caught lap traffic, and those two are closing in on him in a hurry.
That's Ricky Thornton Jr. that he caught. Remember, had the spin in qualifying for the Race of Champions. Now that lane's blocked with Sammy Swindell there on the outside lane. Bell gets in hot, has to get on the binders. Golubic and Seavey now within striking distance as they race down the back straightaway. Bell continues to be roadblocked by Ricky Thornton Jr. Now he'll split the difference with Sammy Swindell.
What a great opportunity for Bell to learn about his car, trying to make his way by.
Sammy drives around the slider from your leader. That opens the door for Bernal, who short slides all the way across 3 and 4. Not going to make it happen. 6 to go.
Golubic following Bell in the 87. Seavey downstairs, just bottom feeding where he can. It's going to be Bell sliding across, lapping Swindell as we're down to 5 left. And Bell trying to get clear of traffic. Golubic doing a great job of following him through.
Yeah, just trying to be there in striking distance. Can't let Christopher Bell separate himself with a lap car, although they've got a little bit of a ways now. Half straightaway up to the Caden Brown machine as Bell continues to hammer the top. Here comes Golubic. Still about 4, 5, 6 car lengths back as they come around the corner. It's going to be 3 laps to go.
I wonder how valuable this has been for Shane Golubic, just getting to race amongst the fastest guys there and getting to find out more about his car in traffic as they're coming to 2 to go, and he's pacing Christopher Bell quite nicely with the double flags up in the air.
And now Christopher Bell has his team car of Caden Brown up ahead. What does he do here at the back end of this field as Golubic again reloads, starts to close back in just a little bit at the white flag lap?
Can Bell go back-to-back here on the Race of Champions? He's got 3 car lengths between himself and Golubic. Golubic's got one more big prayer if he wants to try it. But it is Bell, the defensive move through 3 and 4. Back-to-back wins here at the Race of Champions.
Christopher Bell, wire-to-wire. Shane Golubic gave it all he could. Comes up 2nd. Logan Seavey rounds out your podium. Ryan Timms, Spencer Baston, the top 5.
Top 10 didn't change a whole lot after the caution flag. same participants in there, but some spots definitely turned around.
You wanted to know about Cannon McIntosh, up 5 positions, though. Couldn't crack the top 10, finished 11th. As you look at the rest of your running order, Christopher Bell, back-to-back in the O'Reilly's Invitational Race of Champions. For the first time in his own equipment, he gets it done.
I wonder now what Christopher thinks. So we'll get into victory lane. We'll get a couple of words with him, what he thinks about his operation and the data he's going to take off of this for his prelim night coming up.
He's got to feel good about it, guys. That was a really fast-paced race. He handled the bottom well early, was able to go to the top. His car handled the curb really well. That's a tricky track to run around there, and he handled it like the champion he is.
Only time he really got into jeopardy is when they're in 2 lanes in front of him and both cars racy in front of him as well. So,
yeah, at the end when Sammy drove around the slider, I was like, here comes Shane, but Christopher was able to pull away as he climbs out of the race car. Back-to-back in this event. Way to kick off his Chili Bowl Nationals week. And momentarily, we will send it downstairs to the house to get a word with Christopher. And let's do that now. Down trackside to our winner in Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell gets the hug and the kiss from his wife, Morgan, and he will don the Hoosier Tire neckband. It's not his first Race of Champions victory. It's certainly not his first victory here inside the SageNet Center, but it's his first as the owner-driver combination. He makes his way to the top of the stage. He's the winner of this year's O'Reilly Auto Parts Race of Champions. This is Christopher Bell! So let's talk about that point first. Brian Holbert just hit on it. You've been very successful here in this building. You made a triumphant return last year, but 2026, you're doing it in your own equipment. How much does that change success here in your backyard?
It just makes everything a whole lot more stressful, that's for sure. I was about ready to puke there before the race of like, is it right? Is it wrong? What are we doing? And yeah, I think it just makes the triumph so much more rewarding. And last year, whenever I won that shootout in my micro, I was like, this is just the enjoyment that I got from being a part of the whole process. Coming here, I've been so fortunate to come here with Keith Coons Motorsports, with Chad, Boat, and drive amazing race cars with great crew chiefs. And it's just a lot different whenever it's all on you. You got to make sure everything's right, and it just makes the triumph so much sweeter. So, really, really proud of Colt. Colt's done an amazing job on this car. My father-in-law, Brian. And yeah, we've just been nonstop on this thing after Phoenix. So feels really good to start off the week like this. I don't know that I'm yet to win the Race of Champions and Saturday night on the same night, or on the same year. Hopefully we change that this year.
Thanks to the big brain of Brian Walker at Walkopedia, I can tell you that you have not accomplished that feat yet. The only drivers to do that are Sammy and Kevin Swindell, and Kevin's driver, Logan Seavey, but you put yourself in a fantastic position. How valuable are these extra 25 laps and the laps you get in hot lap qualifying? How much does this help the rest of your week competing here on these treacherous prelim nights?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I was watching the shootout broadcast, and I think it was Clint Boyle said, the track time is so valuable here. So obviously it helps. The Race of Champions is the cream of the crop, and it certainly feels like, the Chili Bowl winner is going to come out of this race. So it feels good to be on top. And yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of racing to unfold, and that's what makes this place so great. It's the ultimate barometer for race car drivers. And there's always someone who steps up to the plate. So I'm excited to watch the prelim nights, be a part of Thursday night, obviously, and see where the field shakes out.
Now, you said you were about to throw up on the ramp before we pushed off for this one. How are you feeling with 10 to go when you catch lap traffic running side by side in front of you? You probably spent a little bit longer behind them than you would have liked. What's going on in your mind when you catch those guys and you've got someone as fast as Shane Golobic and Spencer Baston right behind you?
That's my happy spot, man. Once I get behind the wheel, it was like, all right, this is my comfort zone, what I feel really good with. So, I kept seeing Shane, I think it was Shane, poke his nose to the inside of me. And I felt like the top was going to continue to get better. The bottom was going to, lose speed. So I felt like I was in the right line. But yeah, whenever I caught
the lap traffic and they were side by side, I wanted to get through there as quick as I could, but at least the bottom was plugged up to where a guy couldn't slide by me. And then, once I got by Sammy, I was able to put some clean laps together.
Race of Champions once again goes to Christopher Bell. Congratulations. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your O'Reilly Auto Parts Race of Champions winner, Christopher Bell.
Back we are here, B-Main time here at the Chili Bowl Nationals, 40th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink. Well, guys, here's your chance. If you ever wanted a free trial of Dirt Draft, they've got it available to you right now for tonight's preliminary A-Main event only. Go check it out. The URL is dirtdraft.com/trial. dirtdraft.com/trial. You have to use that URL. It's important. The free trial won't work if you're using the app, so you got to log on to the actual web, dirtdraft.com/trial. You enter a name, you choose a username, you enter your email. You don't have to put a credit card in at all, right? dirtdraft.com/trial. And then you do that, you get to do a Dirt Draft specific for tonight's A-Main event. No credit card required. The trial is just for tonight. If you don't do it by tonight, the account's going to lock unless you choose to subscribe. So try it one more time, dirtdraft.com/trial. Free trial for working tonight's A-Main event starting lineup. Obviously, you won't have any B-Main drivers in there yet, but you've at least got the first 16 through the A. dirtdraft.com/trial for your free trial of dirtdraft.com, and that again is only on the web. It does not work through the app. So you want your free trial? Give her a shot. Should be fun.
Play along with us. It'd be a lot of fun. We have our week-long competition as well within the Flow Sports group.
It is your opportunity to beat Earl Hoon.
Yes. Well, which is not really that hard because his record on rock, paper, scissors wasn't great during the shootout.
I wonder if he knows that Buddy Kofoid's not racing this week. We should remind him of that to get him out of his lineup
we
for
shouldn't.
everything else.
We shouldn't.
Okay.
He'll forget either way.
Yeah. He'll try to pick him. It'll be fun.
You guys got all your drivers locked in?
No, Clinton.
No? Dang it. Come on now.
Hey, thoughts and prayers out to Buddy, by the way. We know they're tuned in. I hope you're starting to feel better, Buddy, coming in, as it's been a tumultuous little bit of time for him. Here's the drivers we know are running in the B-Main event number 1 here at the Chili Bowl Nationals. Trey Zorn and Tanner Berryhill, Nick Drake and Ryder McCutcheon, Preston Norberry and Matt Lux, Jesse Schlockfeld, Nathan Crane, shirtless Nathan Crane, Drake Edwards, Logan Prickett, Christian Miller, and Brian Schwabauer making up the first 6 rows. Blaine Baxter and Daniel Adler, Cade Morton, Bryson Smith, 4 drivers who are moving up from C-Main number 1. We'll move up 4 drivers here from this B. They'll occupy the inside of the back row of this coming up A-Main. They'll be in position 17, 19, 21, and 23, and they got 15 laps to sort it out.
4 more drivers going to see their night continue on, and the rest will have a long day coming up on Saturday.
Earliest that they can go off would be the F main event. That's the first guys out here from the B, start in the E and F main. So you make the A main, you're guaranteed an E main start, at minimum.
Trey Zorn, Tanner Berryhill, your front row, and we're underway. B feature number 1 here on Monday night.
Awkward little bunny hop for Zorn coming off the start, but he settled it down. Gives Drake a nice run into position number 2. He'll bring Norberry through.
Yeah, Berryhill had all sorts of trouble in 1 and 2, got tight on the cushion in 3 and 4, and he's going the wrong direction as he falls back to 4th.
Saw this in his qualifier. When Berryhill got off the bottom, he had problems. He's desperately trying to make the top work, but everybody madly thrashing to try to catch up to him and take position. Right now, he's in 4th, but he has got a whole pack of sharks falling around and trying to take it from him.
Ryder McCutcheon making contact with Matt Lux on the outside. Berryhill and McCutcheon started on that front row, front 2 outside rows together. They've both fallen back, trying to get that top side ran in where they can start making up some ground again.
Meanwhile, that 25 creeping into the picture on the bottom of the racetrack. Blaine Baxter up 5 positions from 13th, already inside the top 10. just a handful of laps in it as you look at McCutcheon now attacking Matt Lux, the rookie, across the nose. Here comes shirtless Nathan Crane. He's got a fire suit on now, and he's rolling that 31 on the bottom of the racetrack looking for position. And then one of the Dave.com cars is the outside.
It's Schlotfeld going up to the expensive liquor section before he goes bouncing and to a stop at turn number 4. Jesse bounces to an end, checks his safety gear, and will wait on the safety team to get to him. He was full-on hotline up there in turn number 2 for a second. Just couldn't hold her through 3 and 4.
Thought it had a chance when he settled it back down, but it just too much velocity. And you'll see, oh, we got a flat left rear tire on the...
It's the Schwabauer,
yeah.
He was running deep. Schwabauer was, gosh, dead last. Yeah, he was 16th. It was fun watching Crane on the inside. And here's how that one ends up. Almost like you were beginning to tell us, like in 3 and 4 there, Clinton. It's
I know.
Treacherous
it's
up there.
Yeah. We saw it get Corey Day, right? So that tells you it's tricky.
So when it's lipped up like that, Clinton, to prevent something like that, I mean, are you just trying to keep the wheel spin as much as you can, or how do you...
he entered, 4 or 5 feet underneath the cushion and the entry into 3, and that's because there's that moisture down there, so it feels good, right? But that moisture's going away, so he slid with too much speed across the track into that cushion, where if you enter more on it into turn 3, you're already against it through the circumference of the corner, or the radius of the corner. So yeah, just slide.
You don't want to hit it,
that.
You want to ride it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And if you do hit it like that, he just wasn't bent like sideways enough or enough crossed up with enough wheel spin to throttle through it. It's all about just how you hit it with the angle of your right rear.
To the flip side of that, there is a very distinct bottom groove out there. Crane was just puttering around down there. Crane has one of the Badger legal motors, so may not have the same amount of power to get up and try it around the top. And that is a car that was an F main event, a driver that was an F main event car last year as he ran for Parker Jones Racing. So we'll see if he can continue to putter the bottom side of the racetrack. It looked awfully good down there. Just needed a break or two as he was almost up to the point where he could threaten Berry Hill for the spot.
Yeah.
So Schwabauer able to make it out of the work area with the new left rear tire. As Zorn will bring the field back to green. Trey Zorn, Tanner Berryhill got back to second past Nick Drake, who sits third. Preston Norberry, that's your 4 lock-ins right now.
You are...
Back in 8th position is going to be Drake Edwards. He's going to get that top side going again. He was pushing Jesse Schottfeld around there before that incident. So we'll keep an eye on. It's the yellow Chad Boat Industries car back there in the 8th position. See if he can make a run in these final 9 laps.
Still some time to spend, working your way forward. Green flag is back out here in B number 1. Field gets through 1 and 2 okay, down the back straightaway and settling in again as one to a stop. And tonight the whammy belongs to Clinton.
Yeah. Commentator's curse as the CB Industries 83 comes to a stop down the back straightaway.
So Edwards, who was in the 8th position, rolling to a stop. We'll see if they can diagnose what it was for him. Here's a look in the K1 race gear instant replay. Oh, cleaned out across the front.
I believe that was Matt Lux. The 5. Just a big move there. No way for Lux to know Edwards to be outside of him.
And nowhere for Edwards to go.
Yeah.
For a driver who made a lot of noise at the Tulsa shootout, this is not going according to plan for Drake Edwards.
Front end looks okay on that car, though. It took that shot and stayed upright.
I think that Nerf bar's into his left rear tire, potentially.
Oh, yeah. Look at that groove. Well, it's got to survive 9 laps.
Yeah.
That could be tough.
There's no sense in pulling in. You don't get time to change it, so run her for all she's worth and hope you get there.
Yeah, survive as absolutely long as you can.
Yep.
Anybody else you get might be the difference in main events and starting on Saturday.
Zorn, Berryhill, Drake, and Norberry. Top 4s we're back underway with 9 to go. Berryhill looked good in the last restart on the outside lane. He'll do it again this time off turn 2. Pull even with Trey Zorn. As the battle up front is there, the battle for 4th is also on as well as McCutcheon and Norberry getting after it and make Preston Norbury move out of a spot because McCutcheon's got 4th.
Big move through 3 and 4 for McCutcheon to pick that position up. And he's got a little track space now on Norbury behind him as your top 4 breaking away, and Berryhill on the charge again.
Nick Drake waiting in the wings there in the 55, watching these two battle it out for the lead in 3rd. There's 4th McCutcheon. They've pulled away now from Norbury, and Blaine Baxter, who's up 7 spots, up to 6th. There's McCutcheon creeping into the picture, but we've got Matt Lux coming to a stop, bringing out the yellow.
3 laps eclipsed there with Lux backing her into the turn 1 wall. Your top 4 were breaking away, and between those drivers, guys, again, it is a full row of main event start in between them if you can get another spot. You saw McCutcheon getting ready to make the move on Drake, trying to shuffle him back to the 23rd starting position to get up to 21st. So just because they're in doesn't mean they're done. Every once in a while, we can see that lead to some fireworks.
For sure, especially because, like you mentioned, it's for a row. It's not for just a position. As you take a look at the K1 Race Gear replay coming at you. Got turned around.
Potentially that was Adler.
Trying to go from C to B to A. He's still got a lot
Adler's
of work to do
plus
to do it.
7 in this, so from 14th up to 7th. So he's trying to make a run.
Also up there, Blaine Baxter.
That's a C-main move up also.
Yeah, so Adler and Baxter sitting 6th and 7th. Baxter and Adler, your 2 C-main move-up cars, still have a little bit of work to do, but this bunches the field back up.
We discussed a lot at the shootout, the anatomy of how you make a soup run here, and it's you got to move, but you need to get a wreck or 2 in front of you that takes a couple of in-position cars out of it, and then get that later yellow to bunch them out so that your top group and your transfer cars don't get too far gone. So we're back to green off the corner.
McCutcheon, you see that started on the outside lane, is going to try to slide. Nick Drake's not going to get it done. Drake will keep his foot in it on the outside, hold on to 3rd. Berryhill, top side. Trey Zorn for the lead on the low side as they continue to duke it out for the top spot with 5 to go. Norbury now is closed back in a little bit to Ryder McCutcheon. McCutcheon, the rookie, trying to hold on to 4th as Drake now wants 2nd, but the caution flag waves yet again. And we've got 1 on its side. That's the 8.
It's the 8M of Morton?
8M, yeah.
No, it's not Morton.
It's not Morton. 8XL of Christian Miller.
Yes.
It's the tall car. That car's 6 inches taller in its cage height to accommodate the 6'6", 300-pounder that is Christian Miller.
Wow. Brings our Eibach flip count to 10 here at the Chillyville Nationals.
We get a good look right here at the cushions in 1 and 2 and how different it is than the 1 and 3 and 4. It's pretty fluffy. You see those guys step on it, leave shoe prints. There's no distinct, ledge to it necessarily. So those guys can get up there and have a little bit of forgiveness, but the opposite end of the racetrack in 3 and 4 is not like that at all.
So we'll have 5 to go when we come back to it this time. You look at it, too, got to be careful if you're Trey Zorn down there real dedicated at the bottom, but they were stacked up around the outside and starting to form the kind of train that could have put Zorn at risk if he didn't change line or change battle tactics there.
Yeah, that's where you're looking either at the video board or you're looking at your crew under this yellow flag, and they're all pointing to the sky.
Berryhill had gotten around, but I mean, you could see imminently both Drake and McCutcheon had the speed up there, and Norbury was tucked into that line where things break right, and they trapped Zorn down low.
And then C-May move up Baxter was able to keep pace with Norbury under that last restart. Needs 2 positions to go from C to B to A. As we're lights out around the speedway, 5 to go, B feature number 1. Tanner Berryhill, Trey Zorn, Nick Drake, and Ryder McCutcheon.
Trey's going right back down to the bottom, and he's got the lead coming out of 1 and 2 for a blink of an eye before Berryhill got momentum wound up, and there's the adjustment.
Oh, and Norbury got crossed up, jumps the cushion. Here comes Blaine Baxter up to 5th.
Slide job by Baxter there had Norbury all crossed up.
Watch Adler poking around at the bottom of 1 and 2. He's getting his nose in there, and it's Norbury together with a car in and behind him. Sliding to a stop is Miller. There's Morton.
Logan Prickett on the side. Came tumbling in after that happened, and right after Nick Drake went back after it with Trey Zorn for second. Miller involved again for the second time as they get the Logan Prickett machine back in a position to get pushed back off. I don't see too much damage there, but that kind of wadded some things up.
It's getting really slick coming off the bottom and middle of this racetrack.
Yeah, this is for the transfer spot here right ahead, and then Norbury.
We'll add to the Ibach Springs flip count off that one. It stayed quiet for most of the night until now they're starting to pile in. And safety crew still checking over the Morton car. Might be a problem with the steering. Steers. Fires off.
Yeah, it's definitely towed in, though.
Yeah. See the right
front. Little darty. Little darty.
Hang on.
Oh, boy. Got some modified suspension work going on in the right front of that one. Top four is the same as it was on the last one. Berry Hill, Zorn, Drake, and McCutcheon.
We've seen Blaine Baxter show he's not afraid to get physical here.
Yeah.
McCutcheon's going to have to be perfect to hold him off.
Crane and Adler now in and behind him as Morton stops up in the work area with the officials looking at it. And fires back off again. Is there anything wrong with it? Nah, it's fine. Run it.
Yeah.
Might as well.
You lie to your friends and I'll lie to mine, but we don't got to lie to each other.
No,
one of those moments.
Yeah. All right, lights have gone out.
4 to go.
Still Berry Hill, Zorn, Drake, and boy, heated battle starting to brew between McCutcheon and Baxter for that fourth and final transfer spot. Daniel Adler there as well now after the issue with Norbury.
He was trying to sneak up the bottom of 1 and 2 and actually had a pretty good run prior to that, so
keep an eye on it.
Yeah. This time they're using multiple lanes coming through the corner. Zorn down low again. Berry Hill trying to drive back around the top. They'll trap Zorn down low, but Trey's got a good enough run to retake the lead with 3 left.
Berry Hill's going to try to fight back. Nick Drake up there as well. Top 3 cars right there under a blanket. McCutcheon trying to add his name for a little added insurance as Baxter's just throwing it in there with Daniel Adler. 2 C-main move-ups. 1 spot out of a transfer spot. Adler's got that position, but they're side by side still for the lead. Coming to the white flag.
Top 4 make it through. You can see the distance between 4th and the guys after them. Berry Hill and Zorn continue their ferocious battle for the win. 3-4 hoping to bring it home, but
caution.
It's going to take a last lapper.
Clinton's not happy. And
ooh, wheel cover embedded in the track.
Yeah, well, that's a safety issue, so we'll get that cleaned back up. Heck of a restart for Ryder McCutcheon, though. We got parts everywhere.
Nerf bar.
I guess that's justified.
Wheel cover.
Okay.
I really didn't want to see that yellow, though, for my dirt draft's sake. Ryder McCutcheon was doing a great job.
Yeah, safe.
I was about to. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Now you're looking for who? Who's missing the full right side battle bar? Well, if Brian Ward's building a midget, he's now got his Nerf bar. He's had more than a few wheel covers. Nerf bar slightly used. All right, so who's missing the right side off their car here?
I saw a right side on every car.
Did it just fly out of the grandstands?
Hopefully that wasn't
Did it
left
just
over.
magically
from-
appear? Actually, take a closer look at the 83 of Edwards.
Okay.
When it comes by. I think that car had black nerfs, right?
Well, McCutcheon's going to try to hang on. 2-lap shootout in B feature number 1. Drake going to follow Zorn to the top of the racetrack. Here comes McCutcheon. Adler, though, doing a great job on the bottom from the C, trying to go to the A. Here comes Baxter now. Baxter's back into the picture. Slide up the hill. Can't get it done. McCutcheon will hang on down the back straightaway for the final time. Race up front for the win. It's going to be Berryhill, maybe. Zorn, Drake, and McCutcheon are going to hang on.
Berryhill got that by .015 as they were using every inch of this Expo Raceway to get around.
So Berryhill will start 17th in tonight's A main event. How about that?
Let's check in. We got a TJ Forged pit report and Earl Hoon Jr.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Winner B main number 1 by nose, Tanner Berryhill, buddy. Pretty much after that 25-lap race of champions, you're going to see that track surface go through a change. And right now, it looks like pretty what we're going to see here for that feature coming up. You happy with the car? Or are you going to have to make any changes for the upcoming A main?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the car. You know, we've got a little bit of work to do, but we got to run that qualifier right before the last B main, and it was pretty good there. So hats off to my guys from where we started this morning. I wasn't so sure, you know, we'd make the feature tonight. So they really turned this car around. Second Opinion Auto guys did a great job. So I'm pumped, and we got a long way to go in the feature, but going to try and get at least a top 8.
Hey, he knows exactly what he needs to do in that A main, guys. Bixby, Oklahoma's Tanner Berryhill is staying alive here on Monday night.
Yeah, they bring a whole slew of race cars, and Tanner does such a nice job for another driver that doesn't do a lot of racing anymore as far as, like, full-time competition. So valiant work. What a finish there in B feature number 1. Okay, B feature number 2, your turn with Alex Sewell and Noah Harris on the front row of this one. John Barnhard and Keith Rauch in row number 2. Jake Andriotti, after the issues in his qualifier, will start inside of row number 3. Todd Cleaver to the outside of him. Michelle Decker, Sean Jackson in 4. Top 10 starters, Tyler Hewitt and Briley Kilmer. Sam Hines and Taylor Courtney will start 11th and 12th tonight. And then we go into our move-ups from C-Main, Emilio Hoover, Garrett Benson, Paul White, and Hayden Mabe.
Speed at the back, speed all through the middle, and at the front as well, with your big question mark being Andriotti. Can they figure out the engine woes?
The 1-to-go signal being given. The pace truck about to duck on off down the back straightaway. Final opportunity to punch your ticket to your preliminary night feature event. We're going to take 4. That'll line up in the final 4 outside rows of tonight's 30-lap feature event. Sewell and Harris the front row. Barnard and Rauch in row number 2. 15 laps, looking for 4 as we're green off of turn number 4.
Traffic jam through the middle of 1 and 2. Front bumpers getting used fairly liberally, but so far, everybody's come through it. Lap number 1 up on the high side. Noah Harris has got the lead. Sewell, Rauch, and Barnard, your top 4 at the line.
Got one spinning in the middle of the backstretch. That's McQueen.
Decker in the McQueen car.
Yep.
She was 5th.
Yeah, I want to say she got some help off turn 2 there.
A lot of cars going for the same line, and not to point fingers, but she might have been right in front of Andriotti coming off that corner. And as slick it is as it is up there, it's not going to take a lot of help to get around. Let's see what happened.
Ooh,
wasn't Andriotti, so. Sean Jackson, 7. 7-on-7 violence.
Yeah.
Sad.
So that'll move Andriotti, Jackson, Kilmer up a position. Already a couple of movers with Benson from the C-Main up a couple of spots. Taylor Courtney up a couple of spots from deep.
They're going to get another one as Jackson's going to the rear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They've been consistent on that call, and it's one we have seen time and again here at this show, that off of turn number 2 and give them just enough bumper to get them around when they're a little crossed up to begin with. So Sean now lots of work to do in the 7 car. Holy cow, how many 7s do we have in this? Decker, Jackson, Benson's out there. That might be it. Still.
Looks like lineup is good. Should see the 1-to-go signal this time around. We'll get things settled in. Alex Sewell, though, big opportunity with JST Motorsports in that 32 car. Looked really good at the shootout, but car was fast in the heat race. Didn't work out for him in the qualifier. See if they can punch their ticket with Keith Rouch there in tow as well. Keep an eye on Jake Andriotti, 1 spot out. As we'll come back to green with 1 down, 14 laps to go.
Oh boy. Questionable jump there on Barnard.
Yeah.
Yep.
John Barnard in the 17, possibly there. We stay green. Battling there for the 3rd position. Keith Rouch to the outside, Barnard to the inside. Meanwhile, Harris has got fits in the form of Alex Sewell, who's just been so smooth on the bottom of the racetrack. Harris able to rocket off the corner for the lead for now, but Sewell has other ideas. Has that 32 rolling on the bottom of the racetrack. Good battle up front.
Well, your car control and throttle control have got to be an absolute max here as we're going caution flag. Lap times are 2.5 seconds off where they were in hot laps tonight, guys. That's how much this track has slicked off at the moment.
Oh, problems for Kilmer. Briley Kilmer was running 6th. As she comes to a stop off of turn 2. I don't know if she's lost, or off 4. I don't know if she lost power or.
Kilmer will fire it back up if it'll fire. And right now, pilot light not coming on for Briley. Disappointing for the local area karting star. And to the work area, she'll go.
There was a penalty assessed to John Barnard there. 2-position dog for passing before the cone.
Should put Andriotti into a transfer spot. And with Kilmer out, that's Cleaver who has taken that extra position moving up. So top 4 now looks different. Harris, Sewell, Rouch, and Andriotti with Cleaver and Barnard on the outside looking in.
Remember, what's at stake if you can't get in, you're looking at either an F all the way back to a J main. So every position, even if you're not in a transfer spot, ups your chances as they continue to work on the Briley Kilmer machine. And this one may be over.
Up the ramp. Guys, we have got 3 in, still 12 to go here in V-Main number 2. Attrition settling in, lights go out around the arena. Talon Turner throwing flags tonight, and he will bring this field back up to green flag action. Yeah. Power Eyes director of competition.
Yeah.
So Harris settles in, Sewell to follow. Rouch and Andriotti back to green. Boy, Andriotti needs to be careful there as it was closer down the front straightaway, I think, than some people would have preferred. They'll come up and put the slide on Rouch for position. As Harris your lead, Sewell second, Andriotti now third, with Sewell trying to take it off the bottom of 2.
Sewell and Harris have been lockstep, just glued to each other, side by side. Since the drop of this green flag, it looks like Sewell had the advantage there, but Harris pushing tight to the cushion. Here comes Andriotti to the bottom of the racetrack. Very technical, have to have a lot of finesse around this speedway. As you look back double box, there's Cleaver and Rouch battling for the final transfer spot. Rouch wants it, Cleaver has it for now. Paul White up 7 to 8 from the C.
Andreotti has made the move, and he has taken away position number 2 from Harris, as now we can watch it all in one. Harris 3, Cleaver now 4 underneath Rouch, with Andreotti making the bid for the lead coming off of 4. He's got it moved, Jake, to the top spot.
He's figured it out, Clinton, especially in 3 and 4, how technical the top side is. He was able to get really good rotation. This time enters right up on the lip.
Yeah, you see Sewell there's nothing to get a hold off turn 4. The bottom of the straightaway has a lot of moisture, but getting that moisture takes forever. And you see these guys off the bottom of turn 2 just slide out. Just can't stick the low side of the straightaway there.
This battle for the transfer spot's heating up because Harris is going the wrong direction. Cleaver now has the 3rd spot. Harris for a minute had 4th, but he may not have it for long because Rouch is there on the bottom of the racetrack.
You can certainly build more speed up and around the top, but if you're consistent like Cleaver's being, it works.
Yeah,
he's climbed up to 3rd.
Definitely make time on the bottom for sure. It's just a game of who makes more mistakes. If you're running the top, you can't get tight, and if you're running the bottom, you just can't miss it.
That was Paul White entering the picture as they sit here with 3 laps to go on the bottom, trying to find his way from the C to the B. Has a few more cars to pass as Cleaver holds on to 3rd. Harris in that yellow machine runs 4th. Rouch there in 5th. 2 laps to go.
Paul White may not be done. Needs another corner like he got the last time where Harris and Rouch made a mistake. Rouch changing line's going to hurt him as we come to the white.
Oh, they get contact there. Rouch gets a little sideways. Here comes Paul White. They're side by side ahead for 3rd. Rouch in the wings.
Oh, he stuck it. You got to throw the bomb.
Coming to the checkered flag.
Got there.
Harris will hang on over Keith Rouch. What a battle. Rouch, the first car out. Paul White, valiant effort, up 9 positions. Comes up 2 short. Rest of your finishing order. Keep that close to running tonight. Now he'll sit in an F main on Saturday.
We got a TJ Forged pit report with Chris Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. Last time we talked to this guy, he was a little bit somber, Jake. Seemed like whatever your problem was, the last-ditch effort seemed to have worked and kind of cleared itself out there for you.
Yeah, there's the only thing left to change after this was the whole engine. So, Mitch and Wald and Brian definitely did not give up. So it wasn't a lack of effort, that's for sure. But yeah, happy that we got it fixed. Definitely not the feature that we want to be winning or be in, but no, it was good to get it cleared up out there and kind of have a good feel of what we got. Was able to run the top pretty hard there and feel around the track. That was kind of the first time that everything went smooth. So happy for that. And yeah, I can't thank the whole 6-8 Motorsports team enough. And now hopefully we don't roll off too far back and just pick our way through. Don't get caught in trouble. The curb's getting pretty cool out there, so it's fun running it. But it's a lot more fun running when you're leading the race. So now behind people, it adds a whole other step. So we'll see.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Jake Andreotti gets the B feature win. He'll roll off from 18th in the A main coming up in just a little bit. You're watching the Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink live on FloRacing.
We're ready to go. A main event time here on night number 1. Cannon McIntosh starts in the front row with Briggs Danner to his outside. Row number 2, Shane Golobic and Kyle Larson. Jerry Coons Jr. and Dylan Welch in row number 3. Justin Peck and Cameron Key in row 4. Tanner Carrick, prelim night winner in the past. He starts inside row number 5 with our rookie Jacob Boxell. You're surprised in the top 10 outside the 5th row. GT Gary Taylor inside row 6. Gage Weldon to his outside in the rookie class as well. Zach Hampton and Nick Hoffman make up row 7. Final of the lock-in rows, Joe B. Miller and Trey Marcham making row number 8. Then you have got your B main move up since Tanner Berryhill and Jake Andreotti. Trey Zorn and Alex Sewell, Nick Drake and Todd Cleaver, Ryder McCutcheon and Noah Harris. 12 rows, 24 cars, 30 laps, and the top 2 making their way in. Lock in your Dirt Draft free trial. DirtDraft.com/trial will get you there. And don't forget, about 10 minutes after the conclusion of our A main event tonight, the drop of the checkered flag, we will have the Chili's post-race show here at the Chili Bowl featuring Chase Rodman, Wikipedia, and the award-winning Tony Laporta. 2 by 2, they stack up, rack up, and get ready to go. And they are showing them the signal coming down the front straightaway. Lights are off. We're going green flag the next time by.
Who's going to be the first two to punch their tickets to Saturday night's feature event? We're going to slot them in from either lock-ins all the way down to Saturday E-mains. Kyle Larson won it a year ago. He'll start outside of the second row, but on the point, it's been two of the best cars all night long. Cannon McIntosh and Briggs Danner. Through turns 3 and 4, Second Opinion Auto Center qualifying night A feature is underway.
Exactly the start Cannon McIntosh was looking forward to. Got the car settled down, got through the corner, through the line. Lap number 1, Cannon leads. Danner chases. Golovic in the third spot with Larson up high.
Front 3 cars on the bottom. Larson trying the top side here early in this one, getting the 1K round up. There's Danner now, will line change to the top in 3 and 4, opening the gap for Shane Golovic, who'll try to take over the third spot. He will.
Down around the bottom, there goes Larson, wheel to wheel with Golovic. He'll roll it up through, up high. Does he have the drive off the top of 4? Yes, he does. Podium spot for Larson as he sits third. Front end tries to lift on him, and Golovic coming back after him, looking for position.
Early on, just that bottom still really, really good as you see Larson continue to try to hound the top side. Golovic there in that battle for third. Jerry Coombs Jr. sitting in that 5th position. Then it's Justin Peck in 6th, Cameron Key 7th, Jacob Boxell 8th, Tanner Carrot now up to 9th.
Coons got off the low side of the racetrack. Him and Peck with a little lines change. They'll settle back in and get after it as you look at Cameron Key going to the bottom. Key trying to close up on Peck for an extra position as there goes Larson. Larson has got P2 now, driving around the outside of Briggs Danner.
Larson's been the first guy to make a lot of speed around the top side of the racetrack. We'll see how long it takes for Cannon to transition. He's still been bottom on both ends, but the 1K is definitely reeling in your leader.
It's a part where being the leader kind of puts you at a disadvantage because you're not as anxious to go switching around lines until you absolutely have to. Larson can experiment a little bit. You can see the big old head of steam that he is making through the center of the corner, but he loses a little on corner exit of 4.
Lap traffic's only a couple laps away as you're closing on the back of the field really quickly. That's going to be Todd Kluver, the first guy they roll up on.
And they're going to be side by side as they continue this with Todd Kluver just looming in the wings here. Larson around the outside of Cannon McIntosh. You've got a new leader here with 20 laps to go. Larson will take over the point as they hit lap traffic.
And now you've got Larson who's going to begin cutting his way through traffic. A pro's pro at navigating these slower cars with Danner now snugging up on the back of McIntosh. Everybody to the high side as they work through the slower traffic in the back of the field and rapidly closing in on halfway. It's a wicked pace out there.
Certainly a long way to go in this one as McIntosh and Danner are pacing Kyle super easily as Kyle's kind of patiently navigating lap traffic, but going to be hard-pressed to find Kyle making a mistake in lap traffic that really opens the door for McIntosh.
They're stacked up on the bottom. The lap cars are leaving the high line around as McIntosh trying to fend off Briggs Danner. Larson starting to walk it out just a little bit, about 4 car lengths now as he's got lap cars side by side up ahead.
Golovic sneaking in on that battle for second and third as again everybody down around the low side of the speedway for the fast guys. The leader coming through. A move to the bottom by Danner this time off of 4. Nothing there for him as McIntosh going into the bottom of 1 and 2 and coming after Larson. Larson hung up on the high side behind a slower car. McIntosh went low. He's right there on your race leader coming to the line.
And McIntosh is there working the low side as they've got lap traffic up ahead. Gage Weldon and Tanner Berryhill there as well. Larson now to the top. Cannon McIntosh will follow in suit. They are just trying to slice their way through this lap traffic.
Opportunity was right there for Cannon McIntosh. Larson gets past Sewell, continuing to weave through. And a little
Larson
front bumper action to get by. One around in the corner and clips another on the way by in Berryhill.
Weldon turned around. Berryhill gets collected. Our first caution flag past the halfway point. 13 laps to go. Lap traffic becoming a factor.
Weldon was kind of in no man's land entering that corner as I'm sure we'll get a K1 Race Gear instant replay and you'll get a second look at it. And Larson, what are you going to do? You can't yard on the binders at that point.
Got a run on him and went to go low because Weldon had been running the top, and then Weldon kind of halfway lane change there, and Kyle went to move back to the top, and around he went.
Take a look at it one more time, and
you can see Larson's on the brakes. That left front locks up and just Too much speed in there. Weldon kind of hung out in the middle of nowhere.
So Gage Weldon will go to the center. It's a tough end to the run for Weldon if he chooses to not continue.
Yeah, I really think Kyle's going to fire off the top of the racetrack here, and I can honestly see him, halfway sliding himself into turns 1 and 2 because the top of 1's starting to get tricky, but turn 2 is super forgiving right there with all the moisture they're rolling through to where you can land in that on your slide job to protect yourself and create a run down the backstretch.
We also haven't seen that slider line be good yet, but part of that's there's been so much traffic down on the bottom.
Yep.
Nobody's really had a chance to try it.
Early fire by Kyle, and Cannon's not a good spot right here.
Here comes Briggs Danner, capitalizing on the restart for Cannon McIntosh. Danner takes over second. McIntosh now in a drag race, going to try to get that spot back across the nose of Briggs Danner. Here comes Golovic as well. Larson skipping away, and Cannon shuts the door on Briggs.
That's a nice counter punch there by McIntosh. As they're coming after him for third, there's Golovic to the bottom, and Briggs after the second spot.
Caution flags out.
Looking for where they're moving, and I can't see.
They're headed towards turn 2.
I don't know if there's debris.
Oh, debris on the center of the front stretch.
Yes.
It's
side panel.
Yeah.
Like your side visor almost, right?
Some piece of carbon from someone's car, so. Cannon really lucky to be scored in second there that last time by.
We're over halfway. Larson, McIntosh, Danner, Golovic, Coons Jr., Peck, Key, Boxel, Carrick, Hoffman.
Yeah. If you're Cannon right here, Kyle's not going to do anything different. It's that early start lets him build up as much speed as he can into 1 and 2. You can't turn down the hill. I mean, turning across that slick is just no man's land. Cannon, I really don't think Cannon will make that same mistake twice.
They should get back to traffic before this is over, by the way, guys. All 24 cars are still running.
Yeah.
With the bulk of them on the lead lap. Sewell, the first car, a lap down in 19th place. Whoa.
Oh, man, did it again. There goes Larson around the top side. McIntosh now committing to the bottom. Briggs Danner, lane is open top side. Can he get the run off of turn number 2? He'll pull even down the back straightaway. McIntosh now has to slide himself. Crossover move for Danner, and Larson begins to pull away again as Danner throws in a slider in 1 and 2.
Cannon did a much better job of staying close, but he opened the door to lose second, and there goes Briggs Danner into that spot with a car length between them. McIntosh now has to hold on to third or get back on his horse and retake second.
Golovic here trying to capitalize a little bit farther back as they all run the top side. Top 5 now all over the top side of this racetrack. Tanner Carrick deeper in this field trying to make something happen, but Briggs Danner not letting Larson get too far away, although a little jump the cushion there in 1 and 2. We'll go to the top side 3 and 4. McIntosh shows the nose.
Clinton, they're all up top now. Everybody is migrating to the top here. With 8 laps to go, we'll see if it transitions back and the low side redevelops. Larson, Danner, McIntosh, Golovic, Coons Jr. with 7 laps left in this one. Danner keeping Kyle in striking distance as
He
time
almost
ticks
drives
away.
over the cushion there. Clinton on the exit at 2 tries to get the run off the corner. It worked for him the last time as they quickly start to approach lap traffic. You're right, Caleb. With 6 laps to go, they may get there here in about 2 laps.
Is this track conducive to a slider? Danner is getting close. Can he go all the way to the bottom, come up and surprise Kyle Larson? Fresh off a win on the East Coast on Saturday night, flew in late yesterday, and Danner pacing him with 4 to go.
Danner is there. He's got to be patient. Larson still rip-roaring the top side. Lap traffic now just about 2 car lengths ahead as they come around. It'll be 3 laps to go. Clinton Boyles, Danner's closing in.
Yeah, if you got a shot, you got to take it here. You can't let yourself get to lap traffic because they block off that slider line on the bottom. If
That
you're
may be
Briggs,
all
you
she
gotta,
wrote,
you got to
'cause
throw the bomb.
Kyle's driving
got
so
lap traffic now, and they're around the outside. They're log jammed on the bottom here with the 2 to go signal. Kyle Larson leading Briggs Danner. Cannon McIntosh showing his nose for a lock-in spot.
Once Kyle got to traffic, I think he started feeling safer and quit running the top like he had. As we're going to come to 1 to go, I think he knows he's protected from the slider. He's just got to get past one more lapper coming down the back straightaway.
Back straightaway for the final time. Larson Larson high, Briggs Danner low. He'll try to show the nose, can't get there quite enough. 2 in a row for Kyle Larson, back-to-back on Monday prelim nights. Briggs Danner, your second and lock-in spot to Saturday's A-main event. Cannon McIntosh round out your podium. Shane Golovic fourth. Jerry Coons Jr., your top 5. But it's Young Money back-to-back on Monday. And he'll have another shot to go for driller number 4.
So, Clinton, we're going to have a lot of time to dissect this. They'll have a ton of time to look at this in the Chili's post-race show coming up with Chase and Brian and TLP. But Kyle changed the way he was running the cushion once he got guys down underneath him. For a couple of laps there, he had driven that thing so straight in and rotated the car. As soon as he got somebody down to his low side, changes his line just enough to rotate earlier in the corner and keeping Briggs off him to make any kind of move.
Yeah, once you get those guys to the inside, you know that slider line's protected, because if someone's going to slide you, they got to go all the way from the bottom and grab a little bit of moisture to shoot across, and it just wasn't going to be an option with cars down there. So once Kyle got to lap traffic, he could slow his pace up, just make sure he didn't get tight, and knew he wasn't going to get bombed on entry.
He goes back-to-back in Monday night prelim feature victories, and it's his 9th prelim feature win here inside the SageNet Center. Tulsa, Oklahoma, here he is, your winner, Kyle Larson! So, just like last year, 4th to 1st, but this race felt very, very different. You catch lap traffic, and then on lap 17, the yellow flag comes out. In that moment, you got Shane Golovic, you got Briggs Danner, you got Mr. Monday, Cannon McIntosh right behind you. What's the game plan when that race stops for the first time?
Well, I mean, starting from the beginning, I just, starting 4th, you get kind of having to commit to the top, and which is not a bad place to be because you can get it cleaned off, but I knew I just had to keep Shane from clearing up in front of me because I knew he was, had the same idea as me. Like, if he could just get in front of me, he'd get ringing the top and probably get to the lead. So it was really important to stay in front of him, and then, was able, I think Briggs missed the bottom there. I got around him, and then, Cannon was kind of late to get to the top and also missed the bottom, and, I just kind of fell in my lap. And then from there, I felt really good. It was, doing a good job, and my car felt good, and, making decent decisions in traffic. And then one lapper tried to rip back around me, and then lane changed into 3, and I tagged him, and it kind of calmed the race down. And then I felt good on the restarts. It was just starting to get slick below the curb there, and then you're sliding to it more, and I wasn't quite ready to start ramping the wall yet. And then I know Briggs was getting close to me there, but just trying to play it as safe as I could and not make big mistakes and back my pace down. So just executed on the prelim night once again. So good to be back in position for Saturday.
You talk about being married to the top. You're one of the smartest guys in this building. I saw you down there outside of turn 3 watching track prep. Is that a conscious setup decision and knowing, I think it's going to be good around the top, so we got to make it work around the top? Or is it just what you were seeing once the race went green?
I think just enough experience in here. And then obviously, watching the Race of Champions back and just, seeing how quick they moved to the top. I felt like, you were going to, I was actually just surprised that the guys in front of me didn't move up, sooner. So, it worked out. And like I said, I think just the experience of laps in here over the years and, being up in the front couple rows, really helps. They're pretty consistent with their track prep, even though, it's ledging up pretty early, but it's a nice, consistent ledge. So it was fun to run there. And, just hats off to the track crew. Thanks for all the fans that came out and enjoyed a good show. And, we'll head back home tomorrow, study up, watch on Flow. And, thanks to HendrickCars.com, Roto-Rooter, everybody who's involved in our 1K team. We have a lot of supporters that just get to have fun for a few nights a year in the midget. So happy to get them in victory lane, and it was a lot of work tonight too. So thanks to Paul and Trevor for working really hard, coming here with a completely different setup, and getting it to a place where I feel like we're okay. So I know they'll go to work on it some more and get us even better.
You talk about all your experience in this building. Saturday's a long ways away, and a lot can happen on that day alone. But it's your 2nd straight trip from 4th to 1st on your Monday night prelim. It's your 9th prelim win in this building. So what does that mean for you when you get to Saturday night? How confident are you? I know we're a ways away, but how good do you feel already?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a ways away, and I think all the guys that I'm racing against for the driller, are on big teams, and aside from I guess Bell, but they're all big teams, so they're building their notebooks throughout the week, and I think that's probably important for those teams, but I think we can just get a good draw for that, pole shuffle qualifying thing, like we did last year, and put ourselves in the front, row or second row. We'll have a good shot. So it's back to 55 laps this year. I think that'll help the racing, help the transition, help the technicality of the race, and hopefully I can edge everybody out.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 9th time here inside the SageNet Center, your prelim winner is Kyle Larson.
Here with a very dejected Kenna McIntosh rounding out the podium. You were not happy when you got out of that cockpit. Obviously, you know what's at stake here, second or better during these qualifying nights. Did possibly the setup go away here in this Mobile 171K?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were kind of set up to do both, depending on where the track went. And, just stayed on the bottom too long. It was like couldn't hear anybody, and then it was just like he was by me. It was just that quick. Just frustrating for sure. Not that I don't know that we would have won it if I got up, early enough or not, but I just really didn't need that yellow. I felt like, I was pacing Larson there once he got into traffic, and heck, we got side by side a couple times, and we were side by side when the yellow came out, and it just sucks, man. I feel like we were going to be able to race for it there and probably lock in, but it's part of racing having yellows. So just didn't get great restarts, and Kyle went really early. Just hard to know where to go, whether you follow him to the top or go to the buys. It just seemed like if you're in third, you're going to do the opposite of what I do either way. I just try to run the bottom there on the restart to protect. He'd slid me the one before that, and so it just anything I do, he's going to do the opposite, and I think we just got a little tight there at the end and just started to float the nose too much with how big the cushion got, and just not good enough. I didn't do a good enough job, and it just sucks not locking in, but we got to put our heads down and just figure out where we can be better. But just big thanks to Mobile One, Toyota, this whole KKM crew for getting me here, and thank the Lord above for putting me in this position.
Second question, final question. People are going to be talking about the timing of these restarts. Do they tell you guys in a driver's meeting where you can and cannot go on these restarts?
Yeah, I don't think they're very specific about it. So that's where it's hard. You're the leader, you're going to want to throw the guy off in second, and that's what Kyle did. And you just going really early. He can time it just right to where he hits the cushion. It's hard being in second there to do that. So, just hats off to his guys, and he obviously had a good piece there and ripped by us. And I wish we could have been a little better to race him back there on restarts, but unfortunately we didn't get that opportunity. And we'll be better come Saturday, and definitely hard to win from the B main. It's if you don't lock in, it's hard to. There's a lot of good guys in front of you that you got to pass. So hopefully we win the B main and put ourselves as far forward as we can get.
Kenna McIntosh rounding out the podium for the first qualifying night here at the Chili Bowl powered by NOS Energy Drink. Chris Moore, you caught up with a very happy Briggs Danner.
Yeah, very happy crew at the Alex Bowman Racing Camp Briggs. You get to second, made a couple mistakes over there, 1 and 2 on the cushion, but then you roped in Kyle Larson. Number one, how good does that feel? Number two, why not at least give it one go at a slider to try and win this thing?
Yeah, definitely feels good. Big shout out to Alex, Mickey, John, CJ, everybody that's made this whole deal possible for us. The car was so good, and after last year, I've probably thought about that prelim feature every day since last year. So I just knew I couldn't make that mistake again, and to track down Kyle is a feat in itself for sure. I felt really good. I didn't even really feel like I was pushing super hard to do it. After I got by Kanan there, I just knew I had to keep my head on my shoulders and run a clean race. Winning would have been really nice, but to lock into Saturday makes the whole rest of the week a lot easier, and still gives us a good shot to run good.
A couple years ago, you finished third on your prelim night, ended up making the A main. How much different do you feel now? How much more confident are you that you're not just a car that's in the A main, but a car that can contend on Saturday?
Yeah, I feel a lot better. We're going to have that much better of a starting spot come Saturday, and that makes a big difference too. So yeah, just I feel a lot better all around. Just not as nervous, not as worked up heading into the feature. So I think that kind of kept my head on my shoulders tonight. And like I said, running second is a lot better than being upside down like we were last year.
Long way from running modifieds on Saturday nights at Grandview, my friend. Good job.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. Briggs Danner, how about it? A runner-up finish for the Allentown, PA native, guys.
All right, Chris Moore, thank you. Race recap now here on FloRacing. And started out Cannon McIntosh in early control. Here on the start, you'll see him set off and get up and going. He would lead the first 9 laps of this race with Briggs Danner, Shane Golub, and Kyle Larson. They'd be your primary characters up the front of this field.
Yeah, Kyle started to get the top side worked in as he gets around Shane Golubic, and then started to really rope in Briggs Danner and your race leader, all before they started to get to lap traffic.
Into lap traffic they go, and up and around the outside, it was Larson really finding his rhythm until he gets up to McIntosh, drives around him again. That was lap number 10. As you'll watch Larson, and then the racecraft starts to play a major factor with multiple restarts in traffic, all factoring in.
Yeah, Kyle did a really good job here of just, manipulating the race to where he was never put in a position to get attacked. So see the contact there with the lap car, and from then on out is pretty much just Kyle in charge. The battle for a second heated up here with Cannon and Briggs, and both of them did a great job to race each other, but not necessarily take each other out or open the battle up behind them to Shane Golubic.
Danner making the important move there, as that was the difference between a lock-in on Saturday night and having to work his way through a B feature and, as good as an 11th place starting spot. But Briggs Danner ends up second. There he is, 9-time prelim winner, Kyle Larson, and back-to-back on Monday nights here at the Chili Bowl.